Greetings and welcome to So You Think You Can Quest, the online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that raises money for rotating community charities. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, and this is just a quick introduction to Episode 7 of our open beta development process. Watch as in this episode, a critical failure leads to an all-out battle for survival as 3 returning contestants are joined by 2 new ones to square off with the mist drake that has begun to target our little adventuring band as they journey to the South Ranchlands of Hope's Rise. Who will survive? Who will perish? And who will win the rotating daily prize in the form of a precious stone from my very cloak pocket? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. A quick thank you to the fans, contestants, and patrons of this show who are helping to spread the reach every day. Thank you so much. We are continuing to grow. There's more applications. We're not even done with the first 30 days of production, and I will be making a wrap video in the future to kind of sum up all the progress that's been made. But before we do that, we're going to watch as the guild fights for their very lives tonight on the edge of a windswept cliff as a mist-cloaked predator tries to snatch them from it and throw them into the valley below. And a special thank you before we get going to the band Mississippi Bones for allowing us to use the track Dungeon Hustle as our official theme song. Thank you very much, and keep on rocking, guys. We really appreciate it as we continue to raise money for rotating charities here at So You Think You Can Quest.
Bring on your goblin holes and band of oaks, hulking zombies and cannibals, and oh no, troll, don't slow me down, oh no. Don't get ambitious, ever vicious, also many possibilities. When I swing, I'm a class won't be the thing. Go begin to give every time, my friend, the outcome's always the same. I roll down 20 sides and clean your ass in twain, because I'm rolling 20s like a 68 Impala.
And welcome to the Sunday episode of So You Think You Can Quest, the internet's first online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones. I'm your host and Dungeon Master. And we are joined this week by 2 new contestants as well as 3 returning contestants who will be questing tonight on behalf of the charity Extra Life, who we will be raising money for all throughout October and November during this launch of our beta development process. 100% of the proceeds, whether or not they come from the form of stream revenue or Patreon donations or coffee donations or whatever way in which the internet is trying to get money into the funds of this program, 100% of it for the first 2 months is going directly to the Extra Life organization, who are helping to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. On top of that, we are also going to be, from that date forward, probably raising at least 15%, if not more, if we can, out of all of the show's revenues for rotating community charities. And on top of that, there will be escalating prize pools as we see our adventurers tonight are going to be competing to try and find and enter the dungeon that lurks underneath Hope's Rise and earn the $500 cash prize. And of course, there will be the daily prize. Who will be the winner? We will have to see, as we don't even know how many contestants there will be over the course of this evening, as we find them in the middle of a rather precarious situation. Before I detail exactly what danger we find them in, however, I will take a moment to recap exactly how it is that we got here. And before I do that, I just want to say a quick thanks to Roll20. I want to say a quick thanks to the band Mississippi Bones for letting me use their music for the theme and intro to this show. Thank you so much. Also, I want to do a quick credit to the artists that have been appearing in all of the maps and tokens that I've been using. That includes Gabriel Pickard of the Roll20 Marketplace, Devin Knight, I believe there's Matthias Bourbon, and a number of others that you'll see in Peace and piece and parcel. So if you notice your art up here, please let me know if you feel comfortable with this stream using it, as it's in no way trying to appropriate content that is not its own. All of the music you hear and the visuals you see have either been purchased fairly or have been created in-house via either my artistic talent or the use of a program known as Sirenscape, which, as I mentioned, I will now be using to fade in our ambient background music as I recount the tale of exactly what has led us to this very moment on the cliff of Hope's Rise. The Guild of Mazes has taken quite an interest in this remote mountain town as it begins to become the center of an escalating series of events. What was first seemingly a random occurrence of some sort of catastrophic wave of energy destroying one of the land bridges that enters into the town, it then soon proved that there was much more at hand, as once our guild adventurers reached the center of Hope's Rise, they were greeted again with yet another one of these massive pulsar rays of energy being drawn down directly into the town square and obliterating the very fountain that the guild had been trying to reach. At the same time, a mysterious golem controlled by a nearby mage on a rooftop began doing battle with some sort of mysterious, otherworldly creature that dwelled inside of the heart of this pulsar ray. After seemingly managing to either beat it back or maybe destroy it, in other words, just get it to disperse, and along with it the massive beam of energy that it had perhaps summoned, the golem then began wrecking all of Hope's Rise. To flash forward quickly, our party was able to defeat it, and then after gaining the trust of the local priestess of Yonghua, was able to take up residence in the basement of their church. But this was not before the barbarian had discovered some cursed wreckage amongst the rubble that they were clearing out, as the statue and effigy to the goddess Yonghua the day before had otherwise been corrupted by the force of Slurgia, the goddess of the profane and all that is corrupt. As a result, the barbarian now seeks the aid of the White Wizard, who dwells in the edge of town and is known to practice the healing arts. On top of this, of course, we have the very mysterious findings that were acquired in the basement in the form of tablets restored by a clever use of magic that seemed to detail curious events similar to these throughout the centuries before they had arrived, as if Hope's Rise had been plagued by things of this nature for a time much longer than the guild had been interested in it. They also discovered, upon the coin of a would-be assassin, or perhaps a Ponzi, in a scheme that was being used to otherwise cover up the true intentions of the assassination of a mage nearby, they were also able to locate some sort of unnamed building on the outskirts of town by deciphering a map and geometric code structured into the printing of what seems to be an ivory coin. Not wanting to in any way take on more than they can otherwise handle right now, having seen how dangerous this environment has proven to be, the adventurers heard rumor of mist trolls bothering the ranchers and farmers in the valley floor to the south of town, and began to set out to perhaps raise some funds and also acquire some goodwill in town, with which they might leverage better equipment and become more appropriately supplied in order to complete the delve into wherever it is that the dungeon lurks. Of course, while making it through the town with relative ease, it was as our party members were descending one of the cliff faces that I am now highlighting on the stream right now for everybody to see, that as they were descending, they noticed in the farmland in the valley out to the east of them, there was a particularly heavy sort of font of mist that had begun to settle atop the trees and farms. And it was from then, shortly after, that they began to hear the cries and also see the beating and flapping of the wings of the mist drake that was swooping about and otherwise marauding in this valley. With a shrill cry to the air, it soon began to descend and take notice of not only the party, but other civilians who lurked nearby on this cliff face. The guild has only but a few moments to react before they are potentially engaged by this mist drake. What is it that they will do? Welcome everybody to the show. We've now got a new Fia the Barbarian and a new Morgan the Rogue. I'm very excited to have you all with us. As you may remember, when we last left off, you had not yet rolled initiative. So, because of that, you still have sort of this loose moment now before the Drake has spotted you and begun to swoop and perhaps make you its specific target of this lunchtime well, marauding's a good word for it. So, are you going to attempt to flee? Are you going to use any particular magics, skills? What are the actions that you will be taking in order to try and save your lives at this very moment? I'm going to transfer you players over to another map. Oh, no. Oh, the last thing that played was kind of loud. Got it. Heard that.
It seems like some of the streamers are saying the music is a little bit too loud.
Too loud. Heard. Dialing it back. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the feedback as I try and get this sort of mixed appropriately. We will see where the middle ground is. I am shifting the players now over to the battle map of the Misty Cliff Face. I did not use Fog of War on this map, mostly because it being the middle of the day and you having an elevated descent into this position, you otherwise have seen almost everything that there is to see, and this map is thus fully available to you. I've obscured the Mist Drake for now because it has plunged into the cover of the nearby cloudscape in order to sort of obscure itself as it runs along the side of the cliff that you are now on top of. But as I'm gonna get the stream adjusted now that it's loaded. As I zoom in on where the party is located, I will also then center the rest of your cameras. So you should be looking at now your tokens on this road. I'm going to do a quick scroll for the stream, but players, what do you want to do?
Real quick, with my background of the Department of Monsters, am I able to tell anything from this mist dragon or wyvern?
You would need to make a nature check. You could also make a history check, but it would be a little bit more difficult.
Let's see.
Are we able to stealth and go behind something right now?
Can you tell me which one is mine? Sorry.
Yours is the one with the daggers on the outside of it and sort of the gray hoop around it. The one who's got the obscured face underneath the hood of its cloak.
Forget the guidance. It's just a 10.
All right, it's just a 10. From that, all you know of the Mist Drakes are that you are more or less familiar with the fact that they are related to dragons, but very, very distantly. They are not considered to be sort of like wyverns, as you were saying, is that they're a little bit more intelligent and a little less like feral, but they don't have all of the expanded magical capacity that dragons do. Drakes in this world usually represent some amount of elemental connection between the actual dragon and one of the primary elemental planes. In the case of the Mist Drakes, they are a dragon lineage that seems to kind of exist in a quasi-realm between water and air. They are fairly cunning, but as far as really anything in their personal history or like more in-depth anatomy, you would be unfamiliar.
Eritha will just yell out to everybody, "Spread out, now!"
Can I use thaumaturgy to make it sound like I fell off the side of the cliff?
You are welcome to attempt to do that, certainly. The question I really have for you is, are you going to do so from your current position? Are you remaining, stationary at this time?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to attempt to use thaumaturgy. That's going to be effectively an action. What is the rest of the party doing at this time?
I wanted to see, is there anywhere like on the sides where we might find like safe passage down, or is it like some type of stone steps or like a little cubby hole that we can kind of duck out of the way in?
Go ahead and give me a perception check as you quickly sort of scan the landscape and look for something, anything that you might be able to use. All right, that's going to be Go ahead and... Yeah, there we go. All right. 13 perception. With that, you do notice that there seems to be sort of a downward slope right here. It's a very narrow, thin path, and at one point you can see where it hugs the wall to the point that you would have to literally get up against it, flat with the wall, to get along some of the ledges on the cliff. But if you made a couple good acrobatics checks, you feel like you could begin descending it rather quickly. Of course, it is only about 20 feet before you break into the line of fog and mist that is down here, that is otherwise obscuring the drake and preventing you from knowing exactly where it will appear next.
Erithil is going to try and find some cover behind that carriage.
Okay. The carriages at this time have begun to panic, and you can see that the wagon drivers are looking cautiously about, trying to split the difference between urging their steeds onward to try and get them further down to the valley floor where they're less out in the open and there's more maneuverability, but at the same time not trying to create a panic and attract more attention as wild horses begin to neigh and may otherwise sound as if an appetizing dinner bell for these drakes.
Would I be able to get behind this, looks like a giant rock over here?
You have enough of time at this moment, because again, we're not really into initiative, that yeah, if you wanted to attempt to conceal yourself behind that rock, you can go ahead and give me a stealth check.
I feel like I'm just like grabbing my axe and like preparing for the worst, but kind of like maybe going off towards the edge.
Okay. You should have full control of your token, so if you want to move that to wherever you're going to be, let me know.
Well, that's a great first roll.
That is a natural 1. And that means that we are then going to be rolling for the variance on this critical failure with my proprietary failure chart. And as you attempt to sneak over and conceal yourself behind that nearby boulder, one moment, I'm waiting on Roll20 to catch up to me. There we go. You are going to accidentally end up passing too close into the front of this horse-drawn wagon here that is moving slowly, steadily forward. And the horses are going to decide to get spooked and begin to gallop down. While that doesn't necessarily alarm you at first, it seems that the horses' screams are enough to attract the mist drake, as I had just alluded to. And as they begin to gallop forward, you see emerging out of the mist a fast-moving, winged, almost apparition-like creature, as there are trails of fog and like white streaming cloud emerging from underneath the beating of its wings, as if the creature itself and its flesh are some sort of manifestation of the very air that sort of wafts through this misty valley. They pass over the nearby wagon, and in doing so, go ahead and begin ravaging that horse and rider, as well as toppling the wagon onto its side. This is going to begin the initiative, as well as put you right squarely next to this creature. While its attention is not firmly on you at this moment, it could, with even the buffeting of a single wing, perhaps accidentally knock the lot of you from your perch up here on this cliff pathway.
Shiza, that thing is terrifying.
All right. I'm going to, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Roll20, you're going to want to click your character tokens before rolling initiative. Otherwise...
I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I didn't do it either. Sorry.
Oh, it's good. One moment. I'm going to get the initiative tracker up and start adding some turns here.
Should we re-roll that since we didn't?
No, I can just go ahead and manually update it. It's just the difference of making it, like, a little bit more convenient. All right, let me go ahead and trim this. All right. Armin, you're accurate. Warren, you should have a 21. Going to adjust that. Oh, there you are. You showed up. Then Morgan is going to have a 5. Oof, off to a rough start, Morgan.
These dice love me.
Oh, don't they, though? All right, Erithil, you're at an 18, I believe. Yeah, that's not bad. My mic is right in front of the line in which everybody's initiative rolls happened. Okay, and then I'm looking for... Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. There's Fia of the Long Road, or Fia rather. Let's go ahead and get you on the tracker. There you go. All right. I've got a bunch of duplicates to clean out here. And then I'm going to roll for this Mist Drake to see exactly... All right. It's going pretty high in the initiative order. That thing is no joke. And I'm going to get initiative on the deck for these 2 wagons. As well as this one's horses responded rather immediately, but now they seem to be panicked almost. Okay, that seems to be all I need. I'm going to sort this, and we will go to top of the order, I believe. Morgan, that's that. Sleepy guy, you got a 6.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So it looks like top of the order is going to be Warren of the Cracked Sky. Warren, this Mist Drake's back is turned to you. It is otherwise just tearing into this horse and wagon and rider as its foreclaws and back claws are working in tandem to just attack multiple targets at the same time, while its mouth begins to just rip open the canvas covering on this wagon to try and see if there might be more food concealed inside. Warren, what do you want to do?
I'm going to go back towards the cliff surface, and then I'm going to lay down on the ground and just watch it from a distance.
Okay. You got it. If that's going to be your turn, are you holding an action, or are you doing anything else before I pass it on to the next person in the order, which is the Mist Drake?
Isn't laying down count as an action, or no?
You laying down actually just takes movement. It takes...
Really?
Actually, no, you can lay down for free. I take that back. Standing up takes movement. You can go. You can basically throw yourself at the ground free, if you will.
Can I stealth then?
You can use your action, yes, to attempt to stealth. Go ahead and roll for that. It's a 13. All right. You'll see whether or not that proves useful in the coming rounds. I'm going through all of these peasant initiatives. There we go. I'm just trying to concern myself mostly with these horses and carriages and make sure that I've gotten those correct. Everybody else is just sort of scattering and a little irrelevant, as none of them seem to be well equipped for this sort of thing. Everyone's just crying out and throwing their hands into the air as they begin to rapidly descend this cliff path, trying to avoid this creature. All right, Aerith from Warren. Oh no, I take that back. It goes to Aerithil. So Aerithil, you have one turn between your companions now and this Drake. How do you want to spend it?
Terrified. I'm going to move my full movement to the left first. Let me do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pull out my longbow. And I'm going to hold my action to fire a shot at the Mist Drake until somebody hits the dragon first, or the Drake first.
All right. Fia up here in the corner now, waiting for there to be some indication of whether or not the party is going to attempt to fight or flee, and notches an arrow. Anything else?
No.
All right.
I'm so terrified of this thing right now.
Got it. Then we go on to the Mist Drake itself as it begins to realize that there is a substantial meal in its clutches, but there are also other small creatures around it that must likely kill in order to feast undisturbed. And it is going to use its buffet attack and begin to basically sweep the ledge of anybody who can't make the following. I will take a dexterity saving throw from the entire party, please. Oh, wait, with the exception of Aerithil, actually, because you're outside of that and far enough away. In this case, you will have advantage, Warren, because you were laying down, and so all of this wind, for the most part, is going up and over you. Well, that's nice. That advantage took a natural one from your companion Araman, so that was clutch. As Warren, you are safe. Araman, you are safe. It looks like Fia and Mogin, the two, arguably most dexterous people here, but are very, very close, are going to get caught in that wind, and it's going to end up sort of sweeping you off your feet and throwing you into the air. As you are going to, let me adjust for distance here. Fia, you're going to get knocked all the way almost to the edge of this cliff. I'll zoom up there so the stream can see. And then as well, Mogin, you're going to get knocked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, all the way back here. Now, Mogin and Fia, go ahead, both give me acrobatics checks as you attempt to land, now that you've been unable to sort of avoid getting blown off your feet.
Yay!
Okay, so that means you will only take a small amount of damage from your fall. So then, Mogin, that's only going to be 4 damage for you. And Fia, that's only going to be 3 damage for you. Your quick reflexes and sort of momentary, as you scrabble to try and grab a hold of the rock as it slips out of, as it almost threatens to slip out from underneath your feet entirely and send you tumbling over the edge of the cliff, you are able to right yourself without breaking any bones or otherwise puncturing a lung. But it does put you tenuously close to that cliff face, Fia. So from there, with the Drake's buffet attack out of the way, it is going to continue to maul. Okay, so the rider of that wagon is dead. And then the other, let me roll damage for that. The horse is going to be, that's 4 plus 5. And the horse is not dead, but it is close. As after that horse, it goes to the Oh, well, actually, I didn't realize they had gotten that high up in the initiative, but it looks like it goes to the wagon rider who just died, essentially, in the Drake's attack. And with that, that wagon is not going anywhere, as the other steed that is pulling it is now essentially trapped by the twisted wagon frame, as well as its reins that are tied to the wooden structure, while its companion next to it is just becoming an increasingly visceral Drake snack. And that's going to then move it on, actually, over to the other carriage and rider, who are going to begin to flee. I will adjust those tokens as I pass it on to Fia. Fia, it is your turn. While this Mist Drake seems to, for the moment, not be trying to eat any of you, it also definitely seems like it is quickly plowing through the snack in front of it, and might soon turn to see what else it can lunch upon.
Okay, so like it's gonna come after us. I kind of want to like I want to get away from that edge, so I want to get as close to the middle, I guess, as I can.
Okay.
And I kind of want to like ready and maybe go into a rage and ready my an attack, like.
Okay.
It maybe if it like, I guess if it gets within range of me.
All right, so you're going to move.
So I'm like,
ready an attack with your axe for if it comes within range.
yeah.
All right, that's
and get as to the middle as much as I can.
Go ahead. You can shuffle your token. Its maximum movement, which is 30 feet in this case. Oh, actually, no. I take that back. I think your barbarian at this should give you a little bit more than 30. So, if you're moving and then holding your action, Fia, then the next in the initiative order, it goes to Ahriman Stoneteller, our dwarven cleric. Ahriman, what are you going to be doing?
Am I in melee range of this thing?
You are, as a matter of fact.
Beautiful. I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself,
Okay.
and I'm going to move away.
All right. Go ahead and adjust accordingly. Anything else for your turn?
No.
All right. We now go to the man sleeping in the back of the hay cart, who is just to the south of the Drake. I rolled initiative for him because I just couldn't resist, as he is now going to awake to find this massive creature destroying one of the other companions that he had fallen asleep next to but moments ago, and cry out, "No!" as it is too late to stop, and he is powerless as his cart continues to pull away. And it looks like if only he had not fallen asleep in the mid-afternoon, perhaps his friend might still be alive. And then we go to Morgan. Morgan, I'm scrolling back up to you. You're some distance away from the Drake at this point. You can see the rest of your companions kind of begin to get into formation and anticipate its next movement. What are you going to do?
I would still like to be able to try and run behind that rock, but I don't know that I have enough unless I just bolt. Is it too far?
You'll find that you can use the tool that looks like an upside-down cue to measure distances. And after that, it's just a matter of sort of calculating your movement abilities and seeing whether or not you want to use that to get there. Because it's only 60 feet away.
Yeah, and as a rogue, you should have something to be able to dash as a bonus action.
Yeah, I think at level 3 you have that now.
I do, yes. Okay, so that's what I'd like to do.
All right. So that's 30 feet of movement, and then your bonus action, which still leaves you with your action and now positioned behind that boulder. Go ahead and slide your token as you would like to. And what are you going to do with your action?
Sorry, I can't seem to move the token.
Oh, hold on.
That
might still be assigned to a previous...
It might be because you have it on the measurement tool and you have to be on
Oh,
the
yeah, you have to-
selected move tool. It's okay.
Sorry, I'll get used to it again.
It's cool. It's all good.
Yeah, no worries. It takes a second for everybody. Okay, awesome. Looks like you were able to shuffle it. I just get worried because on my end, sometimes that can be a result of me not accidentally allowing or the right permissions or, kind of having things shuffled. So I always need to see whether or not that's going to be the thing. Oh, I just realized that I don't know if everyone can see the turn tracker where it's at.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, there we go. Now that's going to be Morgan's turn.
Actually, I just wanted to say that I was going to ready my bow
Okay.
before I
Gotcha.
end.
So you're going to hold your action and attack it based on what condition?
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, to see if it attacks one of the others.
Okay, got it. And then from there, I'm going to trim this up a little bit as we've got a bunch of scattering NPCs that all don't need to be on the tracker. And we get down to one of the other horses and wagons further in the line that's going to continue to flee. And back to the top of the order with Warren of the Cracked Sky. Warren, you are watching the rest of your party kind of take battle stance. How do you want to act?
Kick it off for us, Warren.
I would like to. Can I see the village from where I'm at? Over towards the ledge?
You can. Actually, if you scroll your screen over, you'll see that there are patches of village sort of on the other side of that
Do
fog
I see
wall
if they're
there.
being attacked? Or no?
Sorry, what? I didn't catch that last word.
Do I see if there's more than just this creature? Or no?
So you can go ahead and give me a perception to see if you can spot any other drakes sort of scouring the mist. With that 6, you don't see any other movement at this point, but admittedly, it's very difficult to peer into as the drake's wings are causing the mist around it to swirl, and it also seems to actually generate it as some feature of its biology, and so there is a lot to obscure your vision.
I guess I'd like to move towards the middle and then just hold my quarterstaff ready.
Okay.
Like right about there.
Got it.
Hold it ready.
What are you going to ready your action based upon?
If it starts attacking towards any of us that are near me.
Okay. You got it. One moment. I think that there's some part of this background music that is not playing correctly. There we go. Yes, there are in fact a couple pieces. There we go. I was wondering where the drums were. I thought that they might have just been on delay. There we go. So, you're going to ready it based on that, and we are going to skip over to Erithil then if you're done with your turn.
After some thinking, Erithil, she's basically takes the arrow that she had already prepared, and then she pulls out one of the necro arrows. And
Okay.
She's going to position herself a little bit back to the right.
Go for it.
Alrighty, and what do I roll for the necro arrows? Because I don't have any stats on them.
Is there not a damage listed in the description under your background or on the your character features where it says bonus starting item?
Oh, bonus starting?
Yeah.
Oh, deals extra +2 necro damage.
There you go. I'm just glad that was actually there. Otherwise, I would have had to make that up. All right. Erithil is going to lead it off with the twang of her bow as an arrow goes astray. The Mist Drake's wings, seemingly smaller than they appear inside of their sort of obscuring shield, and you see what you think is a solid shot, otherwise just lance right through thin air and continue going out the other side. Erithil, that's your attack. Do you want to do anything else with your bonus action, or is that your turn?
That's going to be my turn. And does that kick off everybody else that was preparing their moves? If they attack?
At this point, it will trigger Morgan's attack. It will first, I believe, and then after that, because she was the sort of the last one who was still in that order who had readied. Because Fia was based on if they received an attack. So Morgan, if you want to go ahead and make an attack roll, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
And if you hit, you get sneak damage.
Alright, that 19 is going to be enough to hit, actually. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay, that is... It's sneak, and then if you want the short bow damage, you can actually just click on the...
Go into the chat and click... Go into the chat, and then just click short bow.
There you go. All right, so 11 damage.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It takes a second for everybody to figure it out. And then that means your crossbow, or short bow arrow, rather, is going to skip over the body of the horse that the Drake is busy consuming and strike it right in its mouth, right in on the interior of its cheek as it goes to rip up another like sort of hind quarter of this animal that it's eating. And you can watch instantly as its eyes just shift focus to you, Morgan, as you stand there, now the full attention of this Drake as it lets out a pained "Ah!" and begins beating its wings again, discarding the horse in front of it, now eager to attack the thing that has otherwise proven to be a veritable thorn in its side. That is going to be your reaction, or not, sorry, your reaction. That's going to be your held action. And then, Warren, yours was also based on it coming over, right? Yeah. So as a result of that, that's going to be really all that happens on that. So, Erithil, from there, your turn is going to pass over to the Mist Drake. You still have a bonus action to use, though. I don't want to cheat you out of that. Are you going to use it for anything?
I'm sorry, did you say me?
No, Erithil.
I don't think I have anything for bonus action, so I'm just going to leave that be.
Okay, then that's going to pass it on to that poor horse that is just still stuck there, tied to the frame of this now broken wagon, just pulling at its reins wildly and neighing, trying to get away from this scene. Then ye old man in the cart down south, and then Fia. Fia, we go back to you now. You watch as your companions join the combat proper and start lobbing arrows at it in an attempt to try and wound the beast before you were forced to engage it. How are you going to handle yourself?
I'm just gonna go charge at it. Would I still be raging? I raged when I held my action last.
Yeah. So your rage, you need to take damage essentially at some point in the next round, I believe. Otherwise, it'll go away. But past that, your rage is still in effect.
Or do damage.
Yeah, or do damage. Take damage or do damage. You just gotta.
Well, it's take damage or attack.
Right.
You don't actually have to hit. You just have to attack.
There has to be some violence in your turn.
That's why one of the things that I enjoy is that you can actually like Hulk out by just smashing a table. Or or really any other inanimate object in this game, and just I go into a rage and I break the door. Fia, though, you're sizing up your attack. It looks like. Are you charging with your axe, or are you going to use your bow?
No, I'm gonna charge. I want to just. Well, I have a javelin also. But I feel like I mean I never. Fia, it says she makes quick decisions and acts boldly, and my friends jumped in, so I'm gonna jump in too, and I'm just gonna charge at its face. Where's the face? Over here by me?
The face is, that is, you'll see sort of two obscured yellow dots in that. That is essentially this creature's face. All right, Fia. Go ahead and give me that attack roll as you charge in and attempt to, it looks like kind of smash one of this thing's flanks, and where you're at, you'll sort of be attacking one of its wings or shoulder joints, essentially, which may end up crippling the beast if successful. All right, 15 is going to be enough to hit this creature, actually.
Okay, so we hit. So do I click on the axe now?
You click on the actual text in chat that says Great Axe underneath the 15. Yeah, there you go. 12 slashing damage. Awesome. Exactly. Fia, you manage to step forward, and as this thing tries to bat you aside with its wing, you heft your axe, and cleaving through what feels like the gale of a storm passing over you, eventually there is sort of this thunk as your axe finally hits solid mass deep within this almost kind of moving serpentine cloud in front of you that is this thing's wing joint. And you will hear the creature again let out this shrieking howl that resounds off the cliff face in front of you and throughout the valley below. That is your movement and your attack. You have a bonus action left if you'd like to use it, but I don't know if there's anything for you to spend it on at the moment.
I don't think so. I'm just there like this.
Got it. From then, if that's your turn, we're going to go to Ahriman Stoneteller. Ahriman, you are up. This Mistdrake is in front of you being attacked, and it looks like you're going for it.
Well, so I've got Sanctuary on. So Armin's not so much the combat-y type. He's the one that like picks people back up after they've gone down. But he is gonna get right up in the thick of it and like yell at this thing. Banging his mace on his shield, making a lot of noise.
Okay, got it. So you're basically going to attempt to intimidate it? Is that what I'm gathering?
It is more the idea.
Sure. Go ahead, and in that case, you can really just give me a charisma check based on the fact that
okay.
You're not really using any.
Not good at those.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, solid.
Okay, that's gonna be a 6. The dwarf rushes forward and beats on their shield in order to try and get the drake's attention, but what with there being 2 wounds on its body now, it's more concerned with these things that are trying to hack it apart than it is sort of the loud clamor and banging of metal behind it, as this creature is clearly well accustomed to the screech of battle and the scream of renting steel. So then, Ahriman, if it's the charge and that, anything else for your turn?
Nope.
All right, we go then to our Sleepy Time companion, who is withdrawing from the battle down south here, and is just continuing to scream, "No! Why?" as the wagon moves further and further to the south. The hitbox on that method on that Mistdrake is huge. All right. Then that is going to be it for them, and we go to Moggen Mirrorfoot. As I scroll back up, you are behind this boulder right over here. What are you doing?
Is it still staring directly at me?
It seems to be at this moment a little bit more distracted by your barbarian companion who has strode into combat and quite firmly planted an axe in its shoulder.
Okay, then I'm gonna shoot another arrow at that face area because it seemed to have hit instead of going right through.
All right. You got it. $17, that is enough to hit. All right. Due to the fact that this creature has been engaged, your sneak attack damage kicks in still, and you're going to be able to take advantage of its distraction, Moggen, and plant yet another arrow in this creature's kind of prolonged collarbone neck area. As yet another sort of shaft lands in it, you get a little bit more of a sense for this, where this creature's body is actually hiding underneath the mist. And that is going to enrage it yet further. With that, we go to, I believe, Warren of the Cracked Sky.
I'm going to run
Sorry, Moggen, not to cut you off, Warren. That is just your attack. Were you going to do anything else?
No, not right now.
Okay. You got it. Then we go to Warren.
I'm gonna run behind it and use my quarterstaff that I had out and stab it in the back with it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your quarterstaff. All right, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Man, whoa, that is a beastly quarterstaff roll. That is going to also just really get this thing's attention now, as it does not expect the speed at which the monk descends into the fray and quickly smashes it in the back and threatens to dislocate one of its lower vertebrae, causing a sort of a shiver to run up this entire creature's spine, and it lets out yet another shrieking cry. Warren, anything else for your turn?
I'm gonna use a key and do Fury of Blows. I can do 2 more attacks then.
Well, so you can use your martial arts to do another quarterstaff attack, and then you can use your key to do a Fury of Blows and add a 3rd attack if you would like.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay, then give me 2 more quarterstaff attacks. That's going to be a miss, and then that 14 is not going to be enough to hit, unfortunately.
Would my open hand technique still work if I tried to use it?
Your open hand tech, you would have to spend another key, I believe.
It doesn't say so. It just says class.
Oh, yeah, then, if it's... Because I believe you need an attack for that. Let me double check, but...
It says granted by Fury of Blows.
Oh,
so do I
in
have
which
to
case,
hit?
yes, your open hand technique would work. You are correct.
Okay, then it needs to make a strength saving throw.
All right. What is your DC?
Oh, shoot. I don't... Where's that?
Should be in your spell part of your character sheet.
Spell part?
There's a spells tab.
It doesn't say anything in the spells tab.
It should, whenever you go to the spells tab, just go look up to the top. It should say like spell DC or spell save.
It does not at all.
It won't because monks don't have, they don't have, the word I'm looking for. They don't have spells unless you're a shadow monk.
Okay, then it would just be 8 plus your wisdom plus your proficiency.
8 plus my wisdom, which is 2. And my... Oh, my passive wisdom is 12, so... I'm not sure. Oh, gosh.
It's 8 plus 2 plus 2.
So that'll be 12 in this instance, because I can do math like a real adult. So with it only being 12, it is going to squeak by on that strength saving throw, and which is why I asked. It was right in the midst of it. So it is going to be able to sort of withstand your open hand technique for the time being.
Okay. That's all I can do.
All right. And from there, as you watch your companion Warren begin to try and batter this thing, she catches more open air than she would like to otherwise have happen as the Drake shifts quickly and the mist and fog that surrounds it begins to obscure its form once more. This creature, now surrounded and obviously being threatened, is not going to take lightly to all of this. And rolling, it looks like it's more concerned with Fia at this time, due to the fact that that barbarian axe took a decent carving out of its arm, as well as the fact that most of Warren's attacks caught empty air. Oh wait, that's so weird. Some of your initiatives are not showing up on the tracker on one of them, but they are on the other. Because I take that back. It is not the Drake's turn. It is Arathil's turn. Arathil, you are up.
Yeah, I've been saying that my token hasn't been on the turn order.
Well, because it's on my turn order on... Oh, hold on. I'll try closing it and reopening it, and maybe that'll help fix it. But, because it's on one of them, but not the other. That was what was causing that confusion. So... No, I guess it didn't help. But Arathil, it's your turn nonetheless. How would you like to spend it?
Arathil, looking at the group, seeing as they're just dogpiling this thing, being a little bit more reassured, and she's going to take a few more steps forward and going to launch one more necro arrow.
Okay. Go ahead, give me that longbow roll as you attempt to perhaps poison this creature. Alright, that 15 is going to be enough to hit. It's 8 damage plus the...
3.
Yep. Noted, as yet another arrow goes into the Drake and it begins to just scream. And though you feel satisfied with the sturdiness of that shot, you can't help but wonder how many hit points this creature has, as it seems to just be soaking up this damage at this point. Arathil, you've attacked. I saw you moved slightly. Are you going to do anything else?
I am going, after I fire that arrow, I'm going to put my longbow away, and then in my hand, my scimitar appears.
Okay, you got it. Then from there it goes to the Drake, who will now be taking its apt revenge on, yep, Fia. You are going to get hit. For the first attack is going to be a total of 12 damage. And then the second attack that this Drake is going to get off with its other claw as it swipes at you, attempting to try and just disembowel you in a single blow with one of its long talons. You are going to take another, it looks like, sorry, math. That'll be, first one is 12, second one is 14.
Is that already half?
That is not already half.
So 13 total then, if it's half.
Yes. Do remember, I always round against players, so it'll be 14 total if it's half.
Okay.
But yeah, that is correct. Hold on, I'm gonna
Good hit.
readjust
Good hit.
this token to reflect it, because this creature's turn is not over. Those were just the 2 swipes with its foreclaw. It is then going to attempt to turn around. There we go. There's the tab on it, so I can reverse its direction. It's going to try and use its back claws to try and grab a hold of Warren as it tries to also take flight at the same time. Warren, go ahead and give me an athletics check as this thing tries to grapple you.
Come on, Warren.
Warren, it is going to manage to seize a hold of you with its back claws. And with that, it's going to start to try and rise into the air. Aramin and Fia, you can use reactions to make opportunity attacks as it is withdrawing from your melee range. But past that, this thing is looking like it's going to start going straight upwards.
Okay, it might be going straight upwards. It's not going to just go away. So we might as well take it's probably going up to like slam us or something, right? Or like it's holding somebody, right?
Yeah, it's holding Warren, the monk.
Okay, so as my react, I mean, man, I don't want to kill this beloved character, Fia.
Hey, you gotta make decisions.
I wanna and my reaction then I'm gonna swipe at it at that claw that's holding my friend, I guess, with my axe as a reaction as it's trying to go away.
Okay, as it begins to ascend into the air, you're going to heft your axe and to try to bring it to bear at the foot that dangles in front of you, clutching your companion who is struggling with this thing's iron-like grip. Go ahead and roll for that attack, please.
And I have advantage, correct, because of the rage, or no?
So you can make when you have rage in this case, you would not have advantage just for the rage. You could make a reckless attack now that you are raging.
Right.
And that would give you advantage.
I'm just gonna go with a regular old attack.
Okay. That's enough to hit. All right, that is going to do another solid blow to this creature's leg as you almost hyperextend your arms, all but jumping into the air to try and tag it as its hind leg lifts off the ground and the creature goes skyward. Armin, are you going to use... Because I know you've got Sanctuary up. Are you going to...
Yeah, I'm going to drop... It's going to drop when I attack.
Okay, so you are also going to try and pummel this thing.
I'm sure going to try.
All right, go ahead and give me an attack, Armin, as you also sacrifice your sacred vow currently, all right, protecting you, and that attack is going to hit. That is 7 more damage as you also then sort of break off one of the, tips of this creature's hind leg's talon as it kind of finally gets out of your reach, doing some damage to it and causing it to shake its hand angrily and once again shriek, but it does not look like it's enough to dislodge Warren from its grasp. Then from there, the creature is going to, having endured the attacks necessary, use its movement to start. Let me double check the distance here. So yeah, it's going to be able to get out over the cliff and into the mists itself, at which point it will effectively gain the dodge action, allowing it, making you at disadvantage trying to strike it while it is out here amongst so much thick camouflage where you cannot tell where the drake starts and stops. You can see Warren still struggling in the creature's claw trying to get free. However, now you're not sure if that's necessarily the best option given the lack of a floor beneath her. So that is going to be the Drake's turn. We then pass over to the panicking horse that is still, I will remind, just thrashing and thrashing, who is just not making the strength check necessary to rip itself out of its situation. And then I'm going to trim this old man out of the initiative order because he done dead. And we go to Fia of the Long Roads. Fia, the Drake has flown off with your companion. What are you going to do?
I have this thing's very strong. I have some rope. My thought is that it's gonna rush at us again, once like it is it like facing us? Wait, we can't see it now, right?
You can see it. It's facing you.
Okay, so it's still facing us.
It has grabbed Warren and essentially gone out here above the valley floor and is now turned around to face the party. It is both looking at you and beating its wings as if calculating its approach.
All right. I don't think I have any type of way to heal myself, right? I didn't see any like potions, nothing like that in my items. Okay. I see my friend and I look at my javelin and I'm like I don't, like I'm doubting I'm gonna hit it. How far away is it from the edge?
From the edge, taking that measurement, it looks to be about 40 feet, 40 to 50, give or take. From the very edge.
Right. Okay. I think I'm just gonna like. Can I run up to the edge? No. Okay, I'm gonna kind of run up to the edge and at least as close up there as I can, and just kind of like hold my javelin and ready some type of attack to I guess if it starts to like fly away more.
Okay, you got it. So if that's going to be your move, go ahead and adjust your token accordingly. But after Fia of the Long Roads, it goes to Ahriman Stone Teller. Ahriman, what are you going to do?
Move and pull out my light crossbow and shoot.
Okay.
Get a measurement real quick.
You got it.
Okay, so regardless, it's at disadvantage.
Yep. That is one of the nice things about disadvantage, is it kind of can't get any worse. That is unfortunately not going to be enough, as the light crossbow bolt goes through the air and whiffs by the creature.
Okay.
All right. Is that your turn?
No.
All right. What else you got?
As a bonus action, I'm gonna throw a heal at our barbarian.
Okay. Having endured quite a bit in that Drake's recent attack.
Lovely roll too.
With a 3. But hey, some is better than nothing. Those 3 hit points may turn out to be the difference between life and death.
Thank you.
Fia, Ahriman, having healed Fia, that's it. Then after that, we are gonna go to, I believe, Mr. Sleepy Time. Yep. Just crying out still into the sky as his horses drive further away. No! And it just seems a little overdramatic and unnecessary at this point. It just, you can't even see what's going on. This guy's just, kind of upset. But then we go to Moggen. Moggen, you have a little bit more breathing room now, as the Drake is not looking directly at you. What do you want to do?
It looks like in my or it says equipped, actually, not in the backpack, in my inventory. It says I have a flying potion?
You do. You have a potion of flying.
I would like to take that.
Okay.
You forgot about that.
All right. Moggen, it is a full action to drink a potion, unless you have quick hands at this point, which I don't think you do yet.
It says I have fast hands.
Oh, you do have fast hands, in which case, there you go. So that's only a bonus action then to consume that potion.
Okay. I don't know how, what's the distance on flying? Sorry.
No, you're fine. Flight, I believe, is 100 feet movement. Let me double check 60 feet movement. So 120 if you use a double. Okay. Morgan, lifting into the air and zooming forward, I have but one question for you. Are you flying with your hands in front of you, or are you flying superhero style, like with your face first and chest out?
Actually, hands first, because the idea that I'm going is if he goes to drop her, I'd like to try and see if I can't do something to help out.
You got it. All right. Hands extended in the classic Superman pose. Morgan Mirrorfoot zooms into battle to attempt to save the monk Warren of the cracked sky. Morgan, if that's your turn, we then go to that wagon, which I will now remove because it's far enough gone. And we go top of the order to Warren. Warren, you see, surprisingly, as your halfling companion lifts into the air from behind the boulder and comes charging out, hopefully to maybe rescue you or do something. What do you want to do in this situation?
Are my arms free?
You are still struggling, so you are basically, in order to free yourself, going to have to make an opposed athletics check.
I guess I'm gonna have to do that.
Okay.
Athletics or acrobatics?
You can do either, actually, in order to free yourself. All right. Acrobatics. Nicely done. You are going to manage to sort of slip in between the creature's claws as it kind of grasps at you, but with the kind of half-broken claw on the back half of its hind leg that Ahriman sort of fractured a little bit ago, it slips and doesn't have the grip that it thinks it does, and you manage to slip free. You are now, however, clinging to this creature in the middle of the air.
Am I able to go up towards its head and stab down with my quarterstaff?
Okay, so in order to do that, because you had to use your action to slip its grasp, I'm going to make you do another acrobatics or athletics to try and climb the thing, but then unless you spend, but then you'll be out of action, so it'll take until the next turn to actually be able to attack it.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna try and get that tighter grip and go up to its head.
All right, go ahead. You can make athletics or acrobatics in this situation. Acrobatics. It is going to get a chance to try and otherwise, like, stop you or prevent you from climbing it. And it looks like it's not going to be able to by a slim margin. Just points, Warren. Are you able to sort of slip out of the way of its hands as they grasp at you? Because it is sort of restricted in its movement as it beats its wings to stay aloft, and it can't quite grab at you as you slip up its side, using one of the sort of like back tissues of its wing to cling onto and then pull yourself up. You are now basically essentially riding this thing in terms of like you're on its shoulder blades, but you are in a very dangerous spot as it can easily now probably reach at you with its foreclaws. That's gonna be your turn as you now have freed yourself and are in a much more advantageous position. Warren, if that's it, it's gonna go on to Arathil's turn.
Warren, you traitor. This was your work? I'm kidding. I'm gonna take a few steps.
Okay.
I'm going to take a shot with my longbow, just a normal arrow.
Okay. Got it. That is gonna be enough to hit. That's 4 damage as it just sort of pierces through kind of the tissue in this creature's side. It basically just scrapes it. That is your attack, Arathil. Anything else for your turn?
And as I let loose this arrow, I'm just gonna remember an insult a friend of mine said to me, and just yell out at this drake, "Come and get me! Or are you True Strike? Because you're completely useless!"
Dropping some meta humor as you attempt to taunt the creature. And it, sure enough, seems like it's a little bit too preoccupied with the flying halfling zooming forward towards it, and the rather muscular half-orc that's maybe going to try and brain it in the back of the head in a moment to really be caught up. But I'm sure at some level in the replay it's going to appreciate how good of a zinger that was. So, Erithil, if that's your turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of my turn for now.
Then from there we go to the Drake itself, as it now is going to contend with Warren. Alright, Warren, it is going to make a successful attack on you with its first foreclaw, and then it's going to make another one with its other foreclaw. I'm going to roll damage here. That first attack is going to total to, that's going to, so that'll be 13, and then the next, the next one's going to be, that'll be 19. As it reaches up behind and grabs a hold of you basically from both sides and attempts to try and just rake your flesh and open your ribs, essentially. Are you still up?
No, I am not.
Okay. Are you going to activate your relentless endurance?
Would that help? I hope it would.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, at which point then that second attack will basically drop you to 0, and then you'll recover to 1. And then from there, that is going to be the Drake's turn. You are still up, but you are at 1 hit point, Warren. And the Drake is going to also then begin sort of flying forward to try and both buck you off and maybe grab a hold of Moggen with its rear legs. So Moggen, go ahead. You can give me an athletics or an acrobatics, and then Warren, I will need from you. I will take I'll take strength or dexterity saving throw as it attempts to kind of like shirk you and throw you off of it. All right. So your acrobatics is, okay, interesting. Hold on. Rolling for variance. As the Drake attempts to grab a hold of you and you manage to slip right by it, its natural one is going to allow you to basically make an attack of opportunity against this creature if you'd like to use your reaction for that.
How close is Warren actually to me?
At this point, she's almost, it's better thought of as she's closer to above you than she is in front of you. But the distance on the map there is kind of accurate in the idea of like she's about 15 feet kind of diagonally above you.
So there's no way I could use that to just kind of grab her and throw her towards the ground?
No, unfortunately not. So you can either use your reaction to make this attack of opportunity, or you can hold it if you think you might need it more later. That's kind of up to you.
I'm going to hold it because I don't think I'm actually holding any weapons at the moment because I was going with my hands out.
Okay, you got it. And in which case, it's going to mess up its attempts to seize a hold of you, Moggen, and that's going to... Also, at this point, you're going to watch as Warren fails the strength check necessary in order to keep her grip on the back of this creature's kind of coarse and scaly surface, but what with the fog obscuring its actual skin, it's kind of like plunging your hands into muddy water looking for handholds as you try and find something to hang on to, but alas, it is not enough, and Warren, you get cast into the air. And I'm going to move your token a little bit. You are now in a state of free fall. You have not begun to drop yet, but you are there. And that is the Drake's turn. We then go to Mr. Thrashing Horse, who is not pleased with any of this. No one's coming over to help it, but it does finally roll a beast of a strength saving throw, or strength check rather, as it is going to finally wrench the ropes and the wooden pegs that are binding it to this wagon free and manage to pull itself rather awkwardly out of its kind of wooden frame that it's been attached to and start to be able to free itself and run off, basically. But that is the horse's turn for the most part, and it's only going to get about 15 feet away. I will adjust the wagon to give you an idea where the horse is, if anybody cares, but that's where the horse is at. So then after that wagon fiasco, we go to Fia of the Long Roads. Fia, you are watching your halfling companion play chicken with this thing's back legs as your other companion just got like torn to shreds and basically thrown into the air. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I have if I were to like to throw out a rope, I don't know, at Warren, like maybe like hook it up to my javelin and toss it. Would I have enough time to tie that and throw it?
You could use I would take a sleight of hand check in order to tie the rope effectively to the javelin with a solid knot that isn't, going to go anywhere. And then after that, I will take your attack roll.
Does someone, is the person with the flying is still near them, right?
Yes.
But Warren's already falling, and each turn that goes by, is she falling more and more? Or
yes, she will continue to drop, but she won't fall until her turn starts, essentially, because that's the top of the initiative order, and that's when that'll, like, her status as, being in the middle of the air will begin to take effect.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to throw... first, I guess I'll try to tie that off first.
All right, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check to see if you can deftly maneuver a knot. Oh, it looks like you attempt to get it going and tie to this javelin, but the rope just slips as you test it and goes right off of the shaft of this thing. You do not have a harpoon. You only have a javelin.
All right. Then I'm just gonna throw that javelin at this thing.
All right, go ahead. Make an attack roll
and scream, "I'm sorry!" and just.
Got it. I'm gonna turn you up a little in the headset, Eric. That 15 is going to be actually that's going to be at disadvantage. So I need you to roll again because this creature is still effectively in its sort of home environment here. All right, the 15 is the lower of the two and will still hit successfully. Go ahead and roll damage as the javelin drives itself into this creature's leg, and you can hear it again as it shakes its torso and tries to otherwise cast the arrow off, but it's stuck in too deep and it's just hanging there now, tearing up more and more muscle as the creature continues to sort of like tussle with Mogin in its back legs. That is your attack, Fia, and your bonus action. Do you want to use your movement to do anything?
I'm gonna just like run up a little closer to it, I guess, and
okay,
maybe, I don't know.
Go ahead and move your token, and then from Fia we go to Aramin. Aramin, you are up, sir. What would you like to do?
So, as my bonus action, I would like to... Oh, nope. Gonna do movement first.
Okay.
Get about there. Bonus action, I'm gonna put Sanctuary on the rogue.
Alright. Putting Sanctuary on the rogue. Heard.
And then pull my holy symbol out with my necklace and Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame. You got it. You brandish your holy symbol and produce
a beam of holy light that comes down from 5-10 feet above its head.
Indeed. And as that happens, It fails the dexterity saving throw necessary for 3 damage. You see, however, as this bolt of light descends from the heavens and strikes this creature, it seems to dispel momentarily the mist that shrouds its collar and neck area. And for a moment, for the first time, you're now actually looking at the creature underneath and not sort of this thin veneer that it keeps cloaked about itself. And you see the drake as the flying, shrieking, wounded, almost sort of like twisted dragon spawn that it is. And with that, it is going to disable that creature's advantage, the disadvantage that the creature has gained from its misty surroundings, if but temporarily, as the mists scatter for just a moment.
Nice.
Good to know, boss. Good to know.
Okay, and then Aramin, that's your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there, then, we are going to be going to one Moggen Mirrorfoot. Your companions have begun to rally. It looks like they're finding new inroads against this creature. What do you want to do, Moggen?
Would the halfling nimbleness allow me to go kind of straight through where it's at to get to Warren?
Yes. You can go straight through this creature's basically its area without otherwise being stopped.
Sorry, I put Sanctuary out there so Moggen would know what had everything about the spell so they could read it. Since it's cast on them.
Okay, sir, give me 1 second.
Take your time.
Would, if I were to use fast hands on my rope to try and get it around Warren or anything, would that be counted as an attack?
If you were trying to use your fast hands to get a rope around Warren, that would not be counted as an attack, no.
Okay, that's what I'd like to try to do. I'll go through the space of the drake, pulling out my rope and try to see if I can't get it around her.
All right.
And
Go
I'll figure
ahead.
that rest out after.
Yeah. Give me a sleight of hand check as you maneuver through the air over to where Warren is. Not a moment too soon as her turn comes up next and she would begin to plummet quite quickly to the ground. That is going to be a 23 sleight of hand as you manage to almost thumb a knot into place with just one hand, forming a lasso and wrapping it around the waist of your companion. All right, the knot is secure. You are now holding this rope that is tied to what will soon be a falling half-orc, who I'm going to say weighs at least $165. What do you want to do?
Oh, I could. If there's a ledge close, I'd like to kind of aim for it as we're kind of, because I think it might slow us enough to get to it. It looks like there's a ledge right over here.
There is, in fact, a ledge. It's about 15 feet away.
I'm going to aim for that.
All right, go ahead. Give me, and let me double check the. Yeah, go ahead and I will take a athletics check as you're more or less sort of flying and trying not to drop this rope or let the weight of Warren mess up the angle of your flying. That is going to be enough, and you're going to be able to safely get you and Warren to the edge of this ledge right here. That is...
Yes.
There is not necessarily a bunch of solid ground beneath your feet, but if both of you were to, move even 5-10 feet backwards, you'd be plenty safe. And Moggen, because of the distance of your fly spell, you still have movement.
Then I would like to move us 10 feet back.
Okay. You got it. And then at that point, Warren will only shuffle about 5 because she's still attached on the rope. But you two are now there on that cliff ledge. I'm not going to say safely, but certainly at least, not falling through the middle of the sky.
Safer than we were?
Yeah, safer than you were, exactly. So that is going to be your bonus action for fast hands, and it's going to be the majority of your movement. At this point, you could still make an attack, but it's kind of up to you because of sleight of hand. Well, because of Sanctuary. Depends on how you want to risk that.
I think I'll leave it for now.
Okay, you got it. And Morgan, from then we go to Warren of the Cracked Sky. You have been plucked out of the air by a flying halfling and scurried to safety. You have 1 hit point.
Do I know who has the potion?
Uh,
I can't remember.
You're certainly allowed to call that out. I mean, your companions are all right there.
Somebody who has the potion. I need it. I don't know who has it, legitimately.
Which potion?
The healing potion. Somebody bought one.
No.
Yes, somebody bought one.
I don't see one on my sheet.
I know who has it, but I'm curious to see if that person wrote it down.
Who has it.
Oh, wait, actually, I do
remember.
see one on my sheet.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
It's
I'm
down at the
going-
very bottom.
I'm going to ask you for the potion very quickly. As quickly as I can. And take the rope off me while doing so.
Morgan, what is your response?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to her. It's equipped, so is that just kind of a...
That means it's
reaction?
basically on your belt. With a quick kind of wink and a gesture that doesn't necessarily cross any lines as far as actions are concerned, you'll be able to sort of point at the one. And because Warren is right next to you, she can effectively grab it off of you.
Okay, I'll let her take it.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to take that as fast as possible.
All right. I'll take 5 feet off of your movement because it's gonna take you. It's gonna be a little bit of a step to like get into Morgan's square, get the potion, and kind of step back. But go ahead and take your potion. That'll be a full action to drink it. Keep that in mind.
Can I still move?
Yeah, you can still move,
Okay.
and you also still have your bonus action as well.
Can I use Step of the Wind
I believe
to go back? Or...
you should be able to.
Okay. Yeah, while I'm taking this potion, I'm going to move. How far back can I get?
Are you using Step of the Wind to disengage, dash? Which one of those?
I'm gonna dash, actually.
Okay, so if you dash, it will get an attack of opportunity.
Okay, maybe just disengage then.
All right, disengaging. So that's a disengage is the Step of the Wind there, and then you'll be able to use your movement basically -5.
Oh, -5. Okay, so then I'm there.
Okay. Go ahead. I see you've shifted your token, and then Warren, if that's your turn.
How much health do I get back from that potion?
Oh, that potion is going to be 2d4s plus 2.
Okay.
All right, its potent alchemical properties do what they can to restore 5 health to you. That represents sort of the blood flow being staunched and some of the wounds beginning to kind of knit themselves together as your sides and back have these deep lacerations from the talons of the drake where it tried to seize a hold of you, like almost by your spinal column practically. That's gonna be your... I mean, you have your bonus action... Oh no, because you use Step of the Wind to... Yeah, okay, so you're spent actually. That's your entire economy. We then go to Erithil. Erithil Oak, your companion. I'm going to zoom in here so we can see what Erithil over here with the kind of gray-brown on the gray-brown. But Erithil, you are watching as your companions called a quick audible and were able to get Warren out of the middle of the air rather impressively and keep her alive. What are you going to do here?
Arathel is going to be moving in between Warren and the Drake and just look over to her and just say, "You might want to get over to Harmon. I don't think the potion's going to do much help." And she raises her longbow and goes for a shot.
Okay. Go ahead. Ooh, not gonna be enough, unfortunately. As that arrow is going to go astray, looking like it's driven towards the creature's center mass. At the last moment, it sort of turns aside, and even though the mist is no longer there to cloak it, it does still have a natural armor and agility that makes it a dangerous predator in Hope's Rise. So that's your attack, Arathel. I see you've moved. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Trying to save my action surge. So, yeah, that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, we go to the Drake now, who is faced with Morgan and the others in front of it, is going to be a little bit more concerned now actually with Ahriman, having just tasted a little bit of the celestial wrath of his goddess and found it to be literally defrocking and stripping it of its natural power. The Mist Drake is furiously going to try and attack. Both of its attacks look like they're going to hit. That's going to be a total of... that's 7 plus... so that'll be a total of 15. Or no, sorry. No, yeah, 15. That's math. I can do these things. That'll be 15, and then the other one is only going to be 6. So that's a total of 21 damage to you, Armin, with a couple of quick swipes as this thing dashes forward and attempts to try and just maul you. The sturdy dwarven cleric is still standing, however, and now the creature, instead of using its hind legs, it is going to attempt to use its... okay. No, that's not going to work. It uses one of its sort of reset abilities, and its tail swipe is going to try and knock Morgan off of the cliff, but unfortunately the sanctuary is going to protect.
You said I got hit twice, right?
Yes.
I have to give you 2 constitution.
Oh. Sanctuary doesn't appear to be a concentration check.
Oh, you're right. It isn't concentration.
So you do not,
That's
actually.
surprising. Yeah, okay.
So that's just going to be straight damage, and then its attack with its tail is going to fail on Morgan because the sanctuary, it's going to just really bottom out that wisdom saving throw. Say what you will about Mist Drakes, they don't seem to have much, concentrated power of will, it seems. So that's going to be the creature's attacks. There's no use in it pulling away at this point because it's still, for the hot second, sort of decloaked. And then we go to the horses, which I will depict scampering off yet further south still. And we go then to Fia of the Long Roads. Fia.
Hey, Farscribe, are you going to need me at any moment? I'm going to be right back.
Oh, you've got a couple turns.
Okay, Fia just sees everything going on, and she's just like, I need to kill this thing. So I'm gonna get that big axe out again, and just drive it down into its head.
Okay.
Right onto its...
Well, judging where it's kind of positioned at this point, it's more like you're driving it right into its loins, based on where your angle is at. But I'm sure it's going to do enough damage. We'll see.
Okay, let's mess up that loin.
Yeah, let's begin to tenderize. Go ahead and roll that great axe attack. That is going to hit successfully. The music rises to a crescendo. I'm going to turn that down a little as Fia only does 5 damage, managing to scrape some of the creature's natural armor off and draw blood from it, certainly. But the wound lacks the depth. Indeed. And, all right, Fia, that's your attack?
Right. Let me. I'm kind of like adjust my position. Maybe try to like spread out a little more so that maybe it'll like, I don't know, choose me over here and then give somebody else another opportunity.
Okay. You got it. If that's your turn, we then go to Ahriman's Stone Teller. Ahriman.
I did want to check one thing. How do I know if I have a shield? I guess when I'm using a two-handed weapon, I can't have the shield equipped. But can I? How do I?
I believe.
It says I have a shield.
Yeah, if you have a shield, you'll have to use a one-handed weapon to take advantage of it.
Right. But I'm saying, can I switch to a shield and a one-handed weapon now?
Do you? If you have them, yes.
Yeah, I do.
All right, then you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Is it like naturally equipped, or how does that work?
In terms of, are you talking like on roll 20 or?
Yeah, like to get the bonus from the shield.
So you'll just want to make sure to modify your. You'll get +2 to your AC.
Okay. Then that's it.
Okay, and then we go to Ahriman. Ahriman.
I am going, as my action, I'm going to heal myself with Cure Wounds.
Okay.
2nd level.
All right.
I'll take that.
Indeed.
Okay, yep.
Ahriman, your goddess bestows upon you the power necessary to mend your wounds. That's your action. You've still got movement and a bonus.
Yeah. Sadly, my bonus action stuff is other leveled spells, so that is all she wrote.
Okay.
I'm going to stay right there because I don't want to provoke an opportunity attack.
You got it.
Sorry, clicky finger.
No worries. And then, if that's going to be Ahriman's turn, we go to, I believe, one Moggan Mirrorfoot at the end of the initiative order. Moggan, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Those horses down there, is there one or two?
There's one that is actually, its corpse is not well represented because the object is has sort of moved down. But one second, I'll get a free draw. So the corpse of the horse that it was eating on was about here, and then the other horse that managed to free itself has now sort of is represented by the wagon that is about 70 feet away from you.
And it's no longer attached to the wagon, right?
It is no longer attached to the wagon. No, that is just an artifact of the image.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to the horse to see if I can't stop it from running away in case we need to make a quick escape. Maybe a couple, or if somebody's hurt, we can throw them on there.
Okay. So you're gonna be able to get 60 feet with your flying movement. You will provoke an attack of opportunity because you are in melee distance unless you disengage.
Which I will do.
Okay. So bonus action to disengage, then movement of 60 feet, and then you've got your action left at that point, and you'll be within 15 feet of the horse. You could either finish it out with a dash and like get on the creature, or you're 15 feet away. Is there something you'd like to try instead?
No, I actually do want to try and get on it. It should be interesting.
All right.
I can't grab my token anymore, though.
Okay, let me double check on that. That's strange. Oh, make sure you got to click on the select after you've done the measuring.
Twice again, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. So you're going to be able to, with all of that movement, get over to the horse and get on it. It is in a panicked state, so I'm going to take either a handle animal or I'll take an acrobatics in an attempt to try and land on the thing successfully.
Since I'm still flying, could I not hover?
You could, actually. You could hover instead of getting directly onto it.
I'll try that to grab the reins and see if I can turn it around.
Okay, in which case, if you're going to try and seize a hold of the reins and get it turned around, that'll be a handle animal. This creature seems kind of responsive, but is still a little panicked. Morgan, give me a quick, actually a strength saving throw as it attempts to just basically like rip the reins right out of your hand running forward. Excellent. So you're going to be able to not necessarily get it turned around, but this turn you'll be able to bring it to a halt. And so the horse will not continue moving. You more or less have it by the reins now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Absolutely. After Morgan Mirrorfoot, we go to one Warren of the Cracked Sky. Warren, it's the top of the initiative order, and it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to run back to this boulder as far as I can get, and I'm going to try and like... Is it open a little bit underneath? Can I hide there?
There is space. You could try and kind of wedge yourself into that nook if you want.
I think I'm going to have to try and do that.
Go ahead and give me a stealth roll as you attempt to try and conceal yourself in this rocky outcropping. Okay, noted at a 22. That is a decent stealth roll. As Warren, you were able to take advantage of all your martial training to try and just ever so delicately slip out of the Drake's field of view without attracting its attention. Warren, having moved and then having used an action to try and hide, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, I want to stay as hidden as possible for now.
Okay, then we go to Erithil. Erithil Oak, it is your turn. You are up. What would you like to do?
Alrighty, I did have a question. That spot that I just pinged, that within melee range of it, or do I have to get right here?
You'd have to be... it can attack you, but you'd have to be basically where you pinged. Let me grab the measurement for you. You'd need to be right here. Yeah.
Then I will move there, and I will look over to Armin and just say, get back. I'll do my best to distract it, but try to heal everybody. Try to heal Warren if you can. And she pulls out her scimitar and is going to action surge and hit it twice.
All right, give me 2 scimitar-related attacks, please. Going to be a 15, which hits, and a 7, which does not. That first attack is going to do a small amount of damage as you manage to cut the thing across its calf, essentially, as it's trying to keep its hind legs tucked up and off the ground while still trying to attack Armin with its forelegs, and you're able to kind of get up and work at it, but not that much damage as a result.
Come on! I've fought goblins worse than you!
Okay. Erithil, that's your movement and your attack and your action surge.
That's my turn, yeah.
Okay, you got it. Then we go to the Drake. The Drake now, the full turn having moved and expired, it has returned to being shrouded again in the mists of its, of its moniker, being a mist Drake and all that. So it's going to scoot back just a little bit, and it's going to now attempt to swipe at Erithil. Both of its attacks are going to be successful.
Shield.
Okay. So, Erithil, you're going to take a total of 11 off the first shot, and then a total of 9.
Oh, no, I'm using my reaction to shield.
Oh, I see. Eldritch Knight. There we go. I wasn't sure where that was. I thought you were referring to, like, an actual shield that you had.
Nope.
No, okay. There we go.
So my is,
So that will save you from the first attack, which was the 11, but the other one was far enough over the line that you'll still get hit. But that was only the 9 damage. Alright, and then having done its 4 claws, its tail's on cooldown, its wing buffet's still on cooldown. So, you're going to have to contend with give me an opposed athletics check, Erithil, as it tries to then, after having attacked you with its 4 claws, try and grabs a hold of you with its back legs. Alright, 17. That is going to be enough to basically, like, force back this creature's grip long enough that it realizes that it's not a smart move to keep playing, tug of war with you, and then just lets go. And
I just look at it and just say, "See, I told you. Even war's a bit harder."
So, having been thoroughly rebuked by the fighter, it is going to shift over, actually, and move so that it now threatens Fia as well. But that is the end of its attacks for this turn. So that is going to move us along to the horse, which is now under Moggen's control. So that horse I can prune from the initiative. And we go to Fia of the Long Roads. Fia, the Mist Drake is veritably up in your business and seems to be trying to down both you and Erithil as soon as possible. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna get up in its business also, and I'm gonna go for a reckless attack, and just give a big giant battle cry with my longsword, and just go savage. I haven't been adding the rage damage. I realize.
Okay. In that instance, the way that I kind of govern the rules of the tabletop is that, like, if it's not handled pretty much at the time, then it sort of slips by, but in the future, just make sure to remind me and we'll get that rage damage on there.
There should be a little checkbox next to it, so if you click that, it will always include it in your damage.
Next to the rage, you mean?
Next to it should be... The rage damage should be in your global damage modifier.
It should be +2 at the moment.
Alright, that is going to be enough to hit. It is a reckless attack, though, so you can make because it will be with advantage, you can roll again to see if it's a critical.
But do we already not have disadvantage on it?
Oh, right. Sorry, because its cloaking has returned. At this point, that neutralizes. So you're correct. So that's going to be 7 damage, plus 2 from rage, for a total of 9 as you skewer the bottom of this creature's foot.
Okay, so now can I guess I'm just gonna stand my ground right there. I'm gonna move maybe into the middle of it so it sees me.
Okay.
And that'll be all I'll do.
You got it. And from then, Fia, it goes to Ahriman Stoneteller. Ahriman, you are up.
Am I still in its melee range?
At this point, no. You are just outside of its melee range. Basically, Erithil represents the outer limit of it.
Movement to here.
Okay.
Action to dash. I'll get to there.
Okay. And bonus action for anything?
Nope, not currently.
Got it. Then from Aramin, it goes to Moggen Mirrorfoot. Moggen, through use of your fly spell and a decent handle animal check, you've managed to stall this steed for the moment. What would you like to do now?
Am I able to calm it enough to turn it around?
So getting it to go back towards the Mist Drake is gonna be another check. Your initial handle animal was not enough to really get it to conquer so much of its instinctual fear of this creature. Go ahead and give me another handle animal to attempt to coax it into battle. All right, as you attempt to get this creature to ride forth with you, it starts to just kind of clop around and just kind of generally, move backwards as if being forced towards the edge of a cliff. It doesn't really seem like it wants to obey you. At the same time, it's not going anywhere, but it's not really moving forward either.
Okay, so I can't get it to go anywhere. Could I get it to go close?
Closer to the cliff?
Sorry, closer. Yeah, closer to this side wall over here.
That you can, yes. It will not go forward, but it will go laterally.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can't get it over there and maybe get it calmed down enough to stick around.
Okay. Taking the horse over the side, you are going to attempt to basically, you're going to calm it down?
Yes.
Okay. In which case, that will more or less sort of take the rest of your turn. You're welcome to, there's other sort of like soft checks you could make during this time, like perception or a history or something like that, but pretty much you're going to be rooted to the spot with this animal then.
For the rest of the whole thing, or just for this turn?
For this turn, for the remainder of your turn.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine then.
Okay, you got it. So as you then go to calm down that horse and get it sort of over here and stored away in this nook by the wall, I'm going to move the stream back up over to the rest of the party. And Moggen, we then go to one Warren of the Cracked Sky. Warren, you've so cleverly managed to conceal yourself while the rest of the party seems to be getting eviscerated. What would you like to do next?
Can I check to see from where I'm at how healthy this creature is?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check as you attempt to get an idea for how vital this creature is feeling. Okay, so based on that insight, you get the feeling that this creature has taken a substantial amount of damage. You don't know if you'd say that it's less than half health, but you can tell that it is starting to slow down and the wounds are starting to add up, and it's really it's starting to lag a little bit in its actions, and it's starting to become a little bit more hesitant. Likely you've accomplished around a third of its total hit points.
I'm going to yell out to my team. It's still slightly healthy. It's hurt right now, but I don't know if we can finish it off. And I'm going to just stay where I am, and maybe can I look at the area around me and maybe look down towards the cliff that's near me and see how far that is?
So the cliff that's near you to your west, you mean?
Yeah, behind me.
That goes up, actually, because you guys were descending against a cliff face. So this is essentially a downward ramp. The cliff next to you is about, at this point in your descent, I think it's about 120 feet tall. Kind of depends on the area.
Okay. All right, yeah.
It looks fairly climbable. As most of this path was sort of carved out of the rock in the first place, I'm not going to say there's not handholds, but there's a lot of outjutting rocks and sort of large surfaces that you could probably easily climb up.
gonna attempt to climb up it. Let's
Okay.
see. Do I need the step of the wind to get all the way up, or
So
most of the way up?
likely you won't, because again, 100 feet is a long time to climb in a turn. You will, if you used Step of the Wind, you'd be able to get quite a big distance, but you wouldn't quite be able to get to the top. I'm gonna just double check your monk movement real fast. But are you... Because I'll need an athletics check either way to see what exactly you are capable or...
I might just stay here, honestly.
Alright. So then that means if you're going to stay there, Warren, we go to Erithil, who is, over to our east here, engaged in a melee with this Mist Drake. Erithil.
Erithil is going to get closer to our barbarian friend and just look at him and just say, "Me and you, buddy. Me and you." She's going to go and swipe with him. And she's going to swipe again with a scimitar.
All right. That'll hit. Roll damage. Another 4 points as you cut along the outside of one of its wings as it kind of like flaps down and you manage to jump up and tag it. That's your attack, Erithil. Anything else for your turn?
Bonus action, second wind.
Bonus action, second wind as you go to regain some of your spent hit points. Let's see what you got. Not
All
bad.
right. Back at max.
Back at max, just in time, too, as it goes to the Mist Drake's turn. The Mist Drake is going to be attacking... It looks like, based on the last exchange here, it's going to keep after Erithil and Fia, and it's going to split the difference. Erithil, you're going to get hit for a total of... Oh man, that's almost max. You're going to take a total of 17 damage. As this creature's foreclaw extends and all but impales you entirely through the stomach. You turn to the side just in time to turn it into a glancing blow, but it takes an uncomfortable amount of flesh and some bone with it as you watch your life fluid begin to just leak out into your armor and down into your boot.
Does casting shield negate that?
You,
Because it gives me +5.
sorry, what?
Because shield gives me +5 to AC.
I don't actually have to answer that as a DM.
Well, whenever you said it's gonna hit me, I was saying shield.
Oh, sorry, I did not catch that at all. So if you're using shield on this attack,
Yes, please.
it is not gonna save you. The thing rolled an almost natural critical. So that 17 damage is still gonna land. From there, that's its attacks with its foreclaws. And now, because it's kind of gotten into a melee, it's gonna be close enough to actually try and engage with its bite. As it seems to be that trying to snatch these adventurers off the cliff face with its hind legs is not proving to be a good use of its economy. Neither is its bite, however, actually, as thanks to your shield, Fia, the creature's fangs just plunge themselves into the planks and the steel of it and almost impale your forearm, but you're able to wrench your arm free fast enough and kind of push the creature's head back as it pulls itself sort of up into the air once more, and you narrowly avoid having your arm chomped on by this creature's sort of massive maw. And
I just want to like laugh at it a little bit.
Sure. The most gangster thing you can do. From there, it's going to go to Fia, your turn. What do you want to What do you want to return that favor with?
Just another reckless attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. So that's the first of your reckless, and because of the disadvantage or the mist cloak it has, it's just not going to hit.
Okay, I'm just gonna laugh at it again, like like touche or something like that. And I also want to look at Aethrio and say, "It's you and me."
Erithil and him are just insulting and laughing at this thing as we're just dying.
Yeah, like it's just like we may not be able to kill this thing, but we're gonna try.
We may be dying here, but we're gonna be making sure that it does not enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah.
From there, then, Fia, if that's your turn, we go to one Ahriman Stoneteller. Ahriman, you are up.
So, hearing all of that clanging happen, I spin around and see that it moved in closer to them and they're wounded.
Yo, absolutely.
So I'm gonna move up to here. At Arthel, I am going to use my last spell slot to give a second level healing word.
Okay.
Lots of clicks, bear with me.
No worries. As the music rises, and we've got 7. That's not bad.
It's actually 11.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing the other one there.
Disciple of Faith. Or Disciple of Life.
Excellent. And with that 11 damage, you restore almost all of the blood loss that Erithil suffered from in the previous round.
As my action... Oh, ignore that extra 4 on there. I forgot to
Got
click
it.
that up.
So
it's just 8.
All right. It does manage to make this dexterity saving throw.
Rough.
So that is going to, as I just wanted to make sure, yeah, there is no half on that or anything. So it's going to sort of turn to the side as the sacred flame calls down a beam of light and tries to strike the creature again. But this time it is far too wary of the cleric's magic to let its incantations go unobserved, and it's able to avoid the attack. Armin?
That's all she wrote this turn.
Okay, you got it. Then we go to Moggen. Moggen Mirrorfoot, you are up. You have managed to calm this horse. It is otherwise not looking like it's going to go anywhere for the time being, as it kind of just huddles more and more into the corner here between the rock and the wall.
Okay, then I'm going to leave it there and come out over here.
Okay.
And for the moment, I am going to take a shot at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make that attack roll. Ooh, 14 is not going to be enough, unfortunately.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure on the if I disengage. Do I have to do that, or do I not have to because I'm not directly in melee with?
You only need to worry about disengage if you're directly in melee with the creature.
Okay, then I'll just end my turn.
Okay, you got it. And ending your turn some 15 feet, 20 feet away from the perimeter of the Drake's wingspan, We are also a little bit over the line now for our 2-hour break that I like to give to all of our players and myself. So I'm going to really quick just kind of wind us down here for a second, and when we return, we will be at the top of this initiative order. It will be Warren's turn, and we will see if our adventurers are going to be otherwise able to best this creature that they are attempting to fight, or if it will be able to get the better of them. They are starting to run out of resources, and this thing hits like a heavyweight champion. We will see. But stay tuned for So You Think You Can Quest. Hello. Likely, if you're hearing this, it's because you're not joining us live at 6 p.m. on Sundays or Tuesdays, where you could be a part of the action as a contestant or a viewer in the Twitch chat or public Discord, misleading or otherwise advising the adventurers on their journey as to which path in front of them is least full of trickery and despair on their journey to win cash prizes or precious stones from my very own cloak pocket. Come, join us. It's a great time, I promise, and you might be able to be a part of these epic successes and future failures that our adventurers will have to endure in order to become the greatest questers of all time. And if you've been a fan of the music that's been playing us in and out tonight, please check out the band Mississippi Bones on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, Bandcamp, any of the available ways to support them and get a little bit more love to them for helping us up the production value of this adventure, as well as raise money for rotating charities. I really appreciate it, and keep on rolling. Welcome back to So You Think You Can Quest. This is us returning from our small intermission, and in case you're just now joining us, it's important to remember that what you're watching is not just a game of Dungeons and Dragons, but also it is a contest that is helping to both raise money for rotating charities as well as provide our adventurers with a test of their skills unlike any other as they venture into a custom game world with all new mechanics, including crafting systems, a real arcane language, and tons of homebrew lore for them to decipher and mysteries to solve. As more and more auspicious and ominous things begin to mount around them in their environment, the party has decided to try and get some, well-earned experience and loot under their belt in order to try and get some magic items, maybe some healing potions, all the basics for a good adventuring economy when you're trying to have a startup as a team of individuals who find that their best skill is somehow non-linearly invading fortified spaces and looting them. So at that point, they decided that having picked the target of mist trolls, that they would head to the south ranchlands of Hope's Rise along its valley floor where these terrors were known to be lurking. However, it was in that descent along a cliff face path that they ran into a hungry mist drake that was nearby, reaving in the farm valley, likely preying upon helpless livestock. Having been attracted by the startled whinny of a horse that the rogue accidentally, invaded the space of as they were attempting to quickly flee, the Mistdrake descended upon the horse that was startled, which happened to be right next to the party at the time, and a melee ensued. Our monk was at one point almost cast off into the valley floor. She also dropped to 0 hit points, but only due to her orcish endurance was still managed to stay conscious enough to cling to this creature. Our halfling has consumed a potion of flying that was sent with their equipment as part of their department sort of benefits package. then as we join our players, they're in dire straits. Ahriman Stoneteller, the dwarven cleric, is now out of spells. Erithil Oak, the daring fighter, is now out of both Action Surge and Second Wind. We've seen the monk expend all of her ki, and Fia, while knee-deep in a bucket of Rageahol, is still taking licks from this thing that are big enough to put, people and creatures 2 times her size on their back in a single blow, and is somehow withstanding this creature's ferocious assault. So we are only going to see if the tide turns here in the next couple of attacks, as their ability to replenish, resupply, and otherwise create advantage over this creature is rapidly diminishing. So, without further ado, I'm going to crank up the background music. We're going to listen to some angry, windswept cliffs, and it is going to be Warren of the Cracked Skies' turn. Warren, you are starting us off. What would you like to do?
I do have 1 more key. I only spent 2 that round, and I have 3.
Oh,
from
okay.
leveling up.
You are correct then. I thought you had only 2 at this point. So yeah, you are...
No, I got 3.
Oh, my Sirenscape just crashed, so the background music will be with us in just a moment. But it is still your turn, Warren. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use Step of the Wind to go onto the horse and try and tame it. To go back towards the rest of the party.
Okay, so you're going to... I see that. Go ahead and give me a handle animal as you attempt to gain this creature's trust. That is a 10. All right. This creature is very hesitant to go with you. I mean, you can make it budge, but it's like dragging a reluctant dog somewhere by the leash. It'll likely go with you, but it's only going to move at a snail's pace.
Okay. Do I have anything that can maybe calm it down a little more? Can I give it a ration to try and calm it down a little more?
You certainly can. Feeding it that ration will be the rest of your turn, however.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right. As you feed this creature a ration, you can see the horse starts to calm itself. Its immediate instincts to flee at a time like this are being, somewhat suppressed by the fact that there seem to be treats involved, and they're leading in the direction of the actual combat. It's not sure what to make of this, but it's going to keep snacking on these apples for the time being, and then just, we'll see where this goes. And that is going to be your turn, Warren, as we then join our companion up here to the northeast, Erithil Oak. Erithil, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Erithil is going to look to her barbarian.
Oh, you're a little quiet, Pythias. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can't get you turned up on my side. Yeah, there we go. All right, try that again.
Erithil is going to look to her barbarian friend and say, race you to the cart. And she is going to dash away as fast as she can.
Okay.
While at the same time pulling out her longbow.
It's important to remember that cart is over here, basically, where the horse broke free from it.
I'm just trying to run right now, so...
Yeah, no, I'm just for the record. The horse itself is over with Warren. But you're free to move yourself however you would.
I am gone.
Okay, as you back away, it is going to attempt to attack you with an opportunity attack, using its reaction, and it is going to be successful. Erithil, as you flee, Oof, that's close. You're going to take a total of 10 damage. And after that, if you're still alive, we are going to go to the Mist Drake's turn. Now alone with Fia of the Long Roads, she is going to have really no one else to split the ire of this creature with, and is going to find herself on the receiving end of both of its attacks. So, Fia, it is going to clobber you at this point. We're going to see how much damage. So that's would have been cut in half is that, and then cut in half would be. So after your damage reduction from your Barbarian Rage, you're going to take 13.
She falls.
Fia drops. Okay, go ahead and give me a death saving throw, Fia.
Okay, death saving throw.
Hey, Forest Scribe, they're
What's
saying that the music is a little loud.
Sure. Thank you for the
found-
heads up. That's strange. It's like I got back and all of the audio settings in this call just like scrambled themselves. But that enough of that. That 10 death saving throw is going to be enough to keep you from slipping further into the darkness of death. So then, with that, after the Drake is done downing Fia, it's gonna...
Wait, when she gets hit, she wants to say, "Save yourselves."
Noted. As she drops, it is then going to move on towards Aramin and is going to try, unfortunately, not successfully, to attack Aramin, and its mouth is just going to clench on the outside of your armor for a second, but you're able to basically bash it away and twist free before its teeth are able to either crush bone or pierce through the metal. And that's the Drake's turn. After the Drake, we go to Fia's turn. So Fia, go ahead and roll me a death saving throw as you tick one more time and see if you move towards death or life. That is another success. All right, from there we go to Aramin. Aramin, you are up and currently engaged in a melee with this creature.
Yep. And I'm going to brandish my holy symbol and preserve life.
Okay.
All 15 to the barbarian. Well, potentially. To half your hit point maximum.
All right.
Up to 15. And whatever's left over.
So it's 12.
Bear with.
No worries. As the barbarian begins to be once more suffused with life, celestial energy flowing into her body, closing her wounds and jump-starting her consciousness to life.
I don't, since it's only 12, I can't, and I don't think Morgan's taken any damage. I can't heal myself with it, so the other 3 gets wasted.
Can Warren get it?
Too far away.
But it does keep the barbarian up for now and prevents her from being the target of an attack that might otherwise end her life. So, Aramin, you've saved the life of your companion.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was wrong. I do have a spell slot left. I have a 2nd level spell slot left.
Which 2nd level spell would you like to use?
A 1st level spell, but I gotta see if the monk's in range.
Sure.
Too zoomed in, of course, and the
No
monk
worries.
is not in range, so it's gonna go to the barbarian.
All right. Gonna juice that bear totem and see if this barbarian can go toe to toe with this drake.
And it didn't give the other 4, so that's an additional.
That'll be 13 total, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's 13, so you're back at max, I believe.
That's, yeah. Well, that'll be 13 plus 12, so that's 25 hit points to Fia of the Long Roads.
So maxed.
All right. The barbarian
That's all
yawps with life. And Armin, I heard you just say that's your turn, so we're going to move on to Mogin then, as the cleric, really making the difference in this fight with those powerful life domain heals. Mogin, what are you going to do as you're sort of now, as I scroll the screen down a little bit, kind of on the southern flank of this creature, you find yourself with the flanking bonus.
I still have a long time on the fly, correct?
Yes, you have quite some time. You've used what are seconds of an hour-long duration.
I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try and hover behind it and attack that way and try and stay behind it.
So flanking.
Yes, but directly behind it to where its claws probably couldn't reach me.
All right. Go ahead and adjust your token. Go ahead, and are you then making an attack roll? Oh, yeah. All right. With that 17, you are going to be able to beat the creature's AC. Go ahead and roll, and you'll have the benefit of your sneak damage. That's 10. That is a solid chip off of this creature's life. All right, well, that's that. And you are going to drive an arrow at almost point-blank range deep into this creature's flesh and hear it give what is now no longer a defiant cry, but more of kind of this pained in response to it having at this point been pin-cushioned by, I think at least 6 arrows lodged in its body. From there, Mogin, you've moved, you've attacked. Is there anything else?
If I still have movement left, I can disengage and move back a bit.
If you have the resources to disengage, well, your bonus action is still available, so yes. You could...
Then, yes.
All right. Go ahead and slide your token. It looks like you've got about 30 feet available of movement left, so thanks to the flight spell. And if you're going to move yourself there, then that is going to make it Warren's turn. Warren, you have managed to calm the horse in front of you, and it is literally eating out of the palm of your hand. Its eyes kind of give you a reaffirming nod as if it's ready for action.
All right. How far can I go on the horse?
Horses generally have a movement speed of, I believe, I'm going to double check before I look ignorant, but I think it's 40. Am I crazy about that? It is... Oh no, speed is 60 actually. I take that back. They can move as fast as someone can fly. So you will have 60 feet of movement with that horse.
Okay. All right. Ooh. I might try and get... Wait, hold on. Let me double check.
It's also important to note that the horse has a separate turn from you, so its movement is not your movement.
Okay. Well, I want to stay on the horse.
Okay.
So I'm going to move about
I'm gonna get
here.
a horse token for this so that it's just less visually confusing at this point. This is That'll do. I'm
Ah.
going to return the wagon to where it was. And then I'm going to give you that horse token. And sliding the stream up so everyone can see what's going on here. Alright, Warren, you've moved up thanks to your horse.
And as it's moving, I'm gonna try and throw a dart
Okay,
at the creature.
go ahead.
Do I do an unarmed attack?
The dart will be, it'll be a ranged attack, but it is strength based, I believe, so you're going to, it would function the same as terms of the math behind it, because it's a proficient attack that's strength based.
Okay. Just gonna do that then.
Alright.
Noise.
And that's going to hit as you send a... By the term dart, they are, of course, not referring to some small thing that you might hurl around in a bar room, but instead, like, what is about a 4 or 5 inch long spike, more akin to that of, like, a throwing knife, really, hurtling through the air. It embeds itself in one of the creature's wings. Go ahead, roll damage. There we go. That's 6 points. Okay. Taking that off the top of the creature's HP. And that, Warren, is your... Not even your movement. That's just your attack right now.
Am I able to move more and then because of my martial art, or because of my ability, can I make a second attack with it?
Because your martial arts only applies to an unarmed strike and, I believe, a quarterstaff. There are some exceptions to that based on certain monks, but you'll have to be within melee range.
Shoot. Okay. I'm going to... How much movement did I do there? Oh, shoot.
And unfortunately, because you've made your attack with the dart, you can't get your second attack with your martial arts, because your first attack has to be like that, because it represents kind of this quick 1-2 that you're capable of.
Oh, okay.
So in this way, you kind of hurtled like a throwing dagger in the way that somebody else would, you know.
I'm gonna move with the horse back here if I can.
Sure. Because the horse, its speed is 60, and it also is capable of taking the dash action. So it can basically use its like entire turn to get you 120 feet of movement.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back there.
Got it. I'll pan the stream back out so everyone can see that. And now safely behind the overturned wagon. And I'm going to move that hobo out of there. He should have fled a long time ago. And we will be going on from Warren's turn then to Erithil. Erithil, you are up.
Up is kind of suggestive, as Erithil just goes over here to this rock
All right, as Erithil journeys north.
and is going to pull out her longbow and fire.
All right, firing.
With a-
Go ahead and give me
a
that
neck-
roll. All right. That is going to be 11 damage. Okay.
So 14 damage because I'm adding the necro arrow.
Oh, necro arrow. Right. So that's going to be a total of 14, which, given the last couple of shots, you watch as this creature begins to actively kind of cringe as this arrow plunges up and into its muscle and bone. And for the first time, it doesn't just shrug this off. It seems to be wounded.
I yell out to my barbarian friend and just say, "Sorry about that, but I think I got you a kill for you."
All right, Erithil, if that's your turn.
That is my turn.
Okay, we go to the Drake, which has an important decision to make. The Drake is going to flee. But before it does so,
Opportunity attacks from everyone.
Aramin, go ahead and give me an opposed athletics check. As you are nearest to the creature's hind legs.
Ignore the one.
Sure, 17. Let us see what happens. That is not enough. And the Drake is going to go to snatch you up.
Wait, no.
And with that, it is going to begin to turn around and head out into the valley mists with Erithil in its grasps. Fia, you will get an attack of opportunity as this is happening.
You got the name wrong. I'm over by the rock.
Oh, sorry, Aramin. But Fia, you will get an attack of opportunity.
It's just a regular attack, like no rage, no nothing.
You will get your rage bonus to the damage.
Well, when I went down, my
right.
rage,
No, sorry. Yeah, your rage is gone. No, so yes, it is just a regular straight attack with your longsword. Okay, that hits. So that 9 damage as you execute an excellent blow, like lashing at the tendons of this creature and managing to draw blood and feel muscle underneath the blade, but it is not enough to down it as the creature kind of sags in the air for a second, but its wings continue to pound mightily as it carries your companion off. Let me measure that again. So it actually is going to be able to get a couple more feet of movement out of this. And it is out in the mists now.
Oh my gosh.
I refuse to have it end.
No!
What the hell? Okay, this is going to be interesting. As it was about to attempt to just rake Aramin with its foreclaws while he's isolated out here in the mists, it rolls a natural 1 on its attack.
Yes!
Rolling for variance. It seems like it is going to essentially lose grip of Aramin as it attempts to lash at it with its foreclaws and try and pull his head off from the shoulders. And as it sort of falls through its hind leg, Aramin, you begin plummeting into the mist and the valley below. Obviously, you don't start falling until your turn, but your turn is next, or soon to come, rather. And that is the Drake's turn. All of its attacks spent because of the fact that Aramin has now slipped through its grasp. We go to Fia. Fia of the Long Roads.
Okay, I'm just like, no! Okay, all I can think is to try to do what I did last time. I have a crossbow. I can try to save my boy or my girl by shooting an arrow, a bolt at him, right?
Okay, so go ahead, give me the sleight of hand to try and tie that rope real quick. I'm gonna move the chat, there we go. As you attempt to create some sort of line with which to...
I guess I'll get as close as I can to them first and then try that.
Okay. Go ahead. All right, you are able to create a knot and tie it around the arrow and give it a tug, and it slips for a second but then catches. At this point, you can only hope that it's sturdy enough to, hold the weight of your falling dwarven companion, but only the test will see.
And if I do a reckless attack here, would it give me advantage on this? Or is he shrouded in mist?
He is shrouded in mist, but hold on. I believe reckless attack in this situation. I'm double checking the errata for it.
It's strength based. I'm pretty.
Oh, it
sure.
says melee weapon.
Okay, that was what I was double checking. So that means that you are not going to be able to reckless it. Go ahead and give me your attack roll as you shoot at this thing, as you shoot at Armin, who is... Alright, that 14... Armin, your AC, because of the fact that you're falling, you'll be essentially flat-footed, so it's just your armor. Which in this case puts you at, I believe, 12?
Yeah.
Alright, so Armin, that's gonna hit. Whether or not the line is going to support your weight, we're going to find out on your turn as you begin to fall, and it likely begins to pull tight on the line.
All right, let me move into position.
Sure, and then also, Fia, I'm going to have to ask that you roll damage on your companion. Armin, you take 9 points of damage.
Down? Not down?
No, I'm still up.
Whoa. Oh, man. All right, Armin is hanging up. Is hanging on and hanging out. So, Fia, you hold this line to see if your knot is going to be enough to keep this dwarf alive, as the damage, it seems, indicates that certainly the arrow drove deep enough into them. You're going to see what happens here. We go to Armin.
So, can I wrap my arms up in the rope?
You certainly can.
As I'm falling, like wrap my arms up and grab onto it.
Yep. Go ahead and I'll take an acrobatics check or a dexterity save, whichever you prefer. And that'll just sort of, though the actual action itself is pretty easy, I'm just looking to make sure that you don't, like, critically fail or roll, like, a 3 or something.
Well, ignore the 1.
Excellent. With a 17, 16 on the die, you are easily able to kind of fall and wrap a couple lengths of this rope that's attached to the crossbow bolt around your arm before the actual fall itself causes the line to pull tight. And so then as it does, painfully enough, and also luckily enough for you, the bolt does pull out of your flesh, but with your arm securely wrapped up in the line, you are going to then fall and basically slam into the side wall of this cliff. That is going to be another, I'm going to say, that is basically either acrobatics or dexterity saving throw, your choice, and we'll see how much damage you do or do not take. Okay, you're going to take a total of, it's going to be 5 points of damage only, it looks like, as you slam into the sidewall of this mountain.
Hold on!
As this drake is going to continue to sort of just be flying around. Armin, so that's your... Basically, that's your bonus action and some of your movement. But you still have an action at this point.
Are my hands free? Do I have a free enough hand to do somatic?
Yes, you. I will take a concentration check from you.
I'll happily give that to you.
All right. So unfortunately, your sacred flame is going to fizzle as you attempt to get your somatic components to go off, but your arm is just a little bit too tied up in the rope. At this point, you'll have to find like a ledge or some way to kind of free both of your hands in order to not have to make that concentration in the future.
Fair. I'll use the... Can I begin pulling myself up?
At this point, you can. But you'll basically just be starting it as you've used some of your movement in the swing. So go ahead, and it is obviously climbing up, which is at half speed. So go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Where's the rogue?
The rogue is just south in this situation and is going after Araman.
So ignore the 4.
All right,
So
that athletics is, you're not going to hurt yourself, but it's enough. Well, it's low enough that you're not really able to make progress. You get maybe a couple feet up the rock, but you're not able to really find a stable enough ledge or anything that really represents like a place to rest your feet.
Understood.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
All right, Araman, a daring escape from death by a narrow margin. We then go to Moggen Mirrorfoot. Moggen to the south. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try and keep him off of him while he is trying to climb up. So I'm gonna come out to the middle.
All right.
So close.
So close.
Sorry, I think I was a little off there. Okay, I'm
Yeah, you're
gonna.
Oh, a natural 1.
Okay.
Rolling for variance.
Okay. There's a
Moggen,
natural road.
it looks like as you go to pull back on this bow, the string is going to twang and catch your arm. Go ahead and I'll take either a dexterity or a dexterity saving throw or a sleight of hand check in order to catch this bow, lest it fall out of your hand and begin plummeting into the mist. Oh, that is not going to be enough. Your bow is going to, in fact, begin to start falling. You can use, because you've got flight, you'll be able to use movement to recoup it, but it's going to take 15 feet off of you.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to recover that, please.
All right. The bow is recovered. Your movement has been reduced a little bit for the turn. Your bonus action is still available to you, though. What would you like to do?
Can I hide in the mist?
Certainly you can attempt to, if you'd like to give me a stealth roll. Excellent.
Don't know if it matters because it's a mist creature, but I'll try anyway.
All right. Moggen attempts to conceal themselves in a nearby sort of particularly dark and gray-scale cloud bank. Meanwhile, then we pass over to the top of the order with Warren of the Cracked Sky. I'll pan the stream over. You find yourself now positioned rather strategically, I'm not going to lie, behind this otherwise sort of overturned carriage and the gore of the old man who was driving it and the, beginning of this entire encounter. So what would you like to do, Warren?
I'm going to use the horse and get as close. I think I can get about here with the horse dash. Okay. I'm going to try and throw a dart at it one last time if it's fleeing.
Right. 20. Yep, you will be able to get there exactly with the horse dash, as you put it. And horse dash will get you to where you need to be. Go ahead and make your attack roll. It's going to be 11. That is not enough, unfortunately.
Damn.
Okay. Warren, if that's your turn, which it doesn't have to be, because obviously you've got quite a bit of movement left.
Can I use my movement to try and get my buddy up?
You can use your movement to get down to them, but you cannot. You'd have to have more action left to try and pull them up for the round.
Ooh. I guess I'll stand and try and help with the rope, like start grasping the rope with him.
Okay, sure. In which case, then at that point, whoever, whether it's his next check or Fia's next check, whoever tries to next interact with it will have advantage.
All right. Yep.
Okay. And if that's your turn, Warren, I'm going to pan the cam over into the action, and it goes to Erithil, actually. Hold on, so I take that back. We're going to pan over here. Erithil, inching out from behind the rock, I see.
Possibly.
Possibly. All right. What is the brave fighter going to do?
Another necro arrow, longbow, from this distance.
All right. Is that your last necro arrow?
I have one more after this.
Okay, yeah, because you had 4, right?
I had 5.
5.
I haven't used any of them.
All right. Then that's going to be enough to hit. And then plus the necro damage. Nicely
+3.
done. You're going to drive another powerful blow into this creature's side as it's fleeing, and watch it again dip in the air and let out a howl of pain. Your movement has been used. Your attack has been used. You have a bonus action. Would you like to spend that on anything?
Just praying to any god that would hear me to keep our cleric safe.
Okay. From there, you're going to pass it over to the Mist Drake's turn, who is going to not be able to notice that, and turning around here is going to return to try and finish this job. Moving past you, Morgan, because it doesn't actually know that you're there, you will get an attack of opportunity on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, but that will be, it'll have to be with a dagger. I'll honor the roll, but it'll be actually it'll be it'll be a D4 instead of a D6 on the damage die.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you wanted me to re-roll the attack on what now?
No. The attack's fine. But the damage, because of the fact that it's passing through melee distance, and that's what's provoking the attack, the damage will be a D4 because you'll need to use a dagger for it. And I'm not otherwise restricting people by like weapon draw mechanics in that way. But you, instead of it being the D6 from your short bow, it'll be a D4 from your dagger. And you'll still get your sneak, of course. Well done.
Nice.
It lets out yet another howl of pain as it zooms towards your companion Aramin, and I don't know how that... Aramin, you are pulling out all the stops here. It rolls a 2 on the dice, and that represents its claws just digging into the cliff face next to you and sending rocks tumbling down into the roofs of the houses that are lined up along the cliffside below. And then it's gonna go for another attack. Okay, that is successful. Armin, you're gonna take a total of, then plus its bonuses, that's gonna be 12 damage, Armin.
I'm unconscious.
Go ahead and give me a death saving throw as you go down.
Since his arm is wrapped around it, is there a chance that it hooks him?
Well, that's actually the thing, is he's not falling yet. So he is going to, that 13 death saving throw, so he has not taken a hit in that way. He is now going to just be dangling there, hanging by his arm, essentially, which is going to make it more difficult for anyone pulling him up, but he is not falling. I am going to say, Aramin, though, that likely, as that happens... No, okay, you do not lose any of your equipment, it seems, by the dice. You are going to be pretty lucky in that regard. Maybe, some sort of like leather pack falls off, but nothing of value. So from there, if that's the creature's 4 claws, and Armin's now disabled, it's going to attempt to try and pick up Warren, who's the closest. So Warren, give me that opposed athletics check. Ooh.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, man. All right, the party might be snatching this from the jaws of defeat as the Mistdrake is not able to snatch a hold of Warren and has used a decent chunk of its movement returning in order to try and finish the band off. So it is going to reposition itself slightly, but other than that, it is not going to have too much else that it can do with its economy right now. It is going to use its movement to basically shift over the top of you, so it's not leaving your melee threat range, so you won't get attacks of opportunity on it. One moment, I'm grabbing its frame. I'm just looking for the tag so that I can rotate this thing. But anyway, it is basically hovering directly above, like, all of you on the ledge of this cliff now. Its wings beating, its talons snapping at you, and its 4 claws trying to pluck your head from your shoulders should you let your guard down for a moment's notice. And then we go from the Drake to Fia of the Long Roads. Fia, you are underneath this creature. What are you gonna do?
I can either pull up. Okay, the monk is with me, right?
The monk is with you, yes.
And if we're able to successfully pull him up, like maybe monk can kill that thing. Can the monk hit it from where she's at?
The monk at this point, because it was engaged in a melee with her, and it hasn't gone upwards. Like, yes, the monk can currently hit it with melee strikes.
Or Warren, is because Warren's holding onto the rope as well, correct?
Yes, at this point, the two of you are holding onto the rope. Araman is wrapped around the rope, and thanks to the gauntlet on his arm, is being just suspended in the air by it.
So I could also try to kill it. If it was looking like it was dying, I could try to kill it now with Warren holding onto the rope.
It's your choice.
I'm going to play the safe one of bringing up our boy.
Okay.
I'm going to pull him as hard, and I'm going to yell at Warren, "Warren, help me!" And we're going to pull him up together.
Warren, having spent her turn ending there to grab a hold of the rope with you, is going to grant you advantage. Go ahead and give me that athletics check as you try to hoist your companion up the wall.
Roll it again.
Okay. With 14, it's slow going, but you are able to heft your dwarven companion up the side of this. Because of the fact the athletics check itself is basically going to be a bonus action, and then I'm going to just cost you most of your movement in order to pull this person up. So you've got like your action left and maybe 10 feet of movement. What would you like to do?
Well, if he's up, he's safe, he's next to me lying down.
He is, safe is a relative term, but he is like next to you on this cliff face. I mean, about 1.5 feet away from plummeting into, an endless void.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna go and take out my big axe now, and I'm gonna go into a rage and reckless attack. And
your rage is not that. Your rage takes a bonus action, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think you're. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you unfortunately will not be able to go into a rage. You'll have to choose between the attack and the rage.
So I'm just gonna attack it. Just a regular old attack.
All right. Go ahead. Roll that attack roll. That's gonna hit. Roll damage. That's gonna be 7. Okay, this Mist Drake is looking rough as you sever what is a fairly important artery in its leg, and it starts raining down. It's kind of blue, like sort of purplish blood upon the scene that you're fighting, and you, for the first time, find yourself now drenched in the blood of your enemy.
Yeah, just like
Okay, got it. That's your whole turn at this point, and then we go to Araman, who I'm going to need a death saving throw from.
Oh, it doesn't want to respond, huh? There we go.
That is just enough, Araman. All right, scraping by. And then we go to Moggen Mirrorfoot. Moggen, you are up. I'm going to scroll down so we can all see you there.
I'm going to move up and use my Spare the Dying cantrip.
Okay, you got it.
Yes! Yes!
Power of the Mournful Golem activate, and Moggen is going to use the power granted by their zodiac sign to jumpstart Araman back to life. Or stable, as it were. Alright, well done. That cantrip, I believe, is a full action. So it's going to be some of your movement, your main action. You've still got your bonus left.
I don't think I have anything right now.
Okay, you got it. So you are perched there. We then go now to Warren of the Cracked Sky. Warren, you are up.
It's close enough for me to hit, right?
It is, yes.
Alright, I'm gonna take my quarterstaff and try and stab it with the end of it.
Okay. You try and just basically break one of these things, one of its kneecaps with the extension of this pole. That 8 is not enough to hit. You can roll for your martial arts.
Yeah, I'm going to.
No worries. Oh man, Warren, not looking good as you kind of wave your stick in the air, kind of batting at the creature. It doesn't seem to be paying you much mind as the quarterstaff just has a hard time getting that velocity necessary to fracture bone at this distance.
Alright, I'm going to then move behind it. If I can't, hold on, how much movement do I have?
All right.
I can make it behind it.
All right. Going behind it.
Yep. And just hold steady if it comes and turns around.
Got it. Holding steady. So that then moves it over to Arathil's turn. Arathil Oak, you are up.
Alright, so I'm going to ping another area. If I go right here, would I be within melee range of it?
If you go right... Sorry, one moment. There. You would not... You need to be where Warren is.
Alright, no problem. Then I'm just going to move a little bit closer and continue pelting it with my last necro arrow.
Alright, last necro arrow. Do your magic. Let us see. Make your attack roll. Alright, 4 damage plus the 3, that's 7. This creature is going to begin to falter. Its wings are beating in the air still frantically to keep it afloat, but it is still alive, Arathil.
At least everybody is with the opportunity to attack of it.
Indeed. Alright. Arathil, is that the end of your turn?
I'm just gonna yell out, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it!
Alright. And from there, we go to the Mist Drake. as it now, so very weakened and backed into a corner, attempts to use the very thing it's opened this combat with, it having recharged a couple rounds ago. Go ahead. I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from everybody. Everyone is within radius of this. As it uses its wings to send out mighty gusts of wind in every direction.
I can't make a dexterity saving throw.
You cannot, in fact. So you will, by nature of that, sort of just automatically be affected by this as you are sent into the air. You will also be knocked from 0 into the... Well, no, you won't be damaged by the actual gust itself, so you'll still be unconscious. You won't be dying. That 18 for Erithil is noted. So Erithil, you're going to avoid being thrown around. Then, Fia, that's lucky. You're going to be manage to then Morgan, you're going to get hit by the blast of this, but because of that flying spell, you're going to be able to, I mean, you're just going to be in the air. You're going to get pushed a considerable distance. And then finally, that horse is going to make a nat 20 dexterity saving throw and manage to keep its footing on the edge of this cliff face next to Armin. And then Warren...
The horse said, nay, nay, nay.
Indeed. Warren, you're safe with the 15. So nobody gets thrown into the air and then slammed into the ground, really. Man, that attack did not... I was hoping to just get a twofer right there and push both of you off the edge of this cliff. But that is not going to be how it plays out. Fia, you are up.
You're being held up by bloodlust.
Okay, now Fia is gonna like bang her head on the rock and just like go into a big nasty rage and reckless attack this thing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me
with
that reckless
with the big
attack.
axe.
It's out of the mist, so he has straight advantage, right?
Yes. He has straight advantage. It is completely separated from the mist. That first attack does not hit. But the second attack is a natural critical success. Oh my god.
That's my boy.
All right. There we go. And that is going to be enough to... Well, I mean, hit it. Let's see. That is going to be enough to kill the creature as the axe plants itself in the creature's midsection and it goes to try and deflect the blow and wrench free. But Fia's cunning barbarian instincts and having hunted her entire life has managed her to, in a lightning quick second, turn the axe blade just so slightly that it hooks into the creature's flesh like a fisherman. And as it turns to fly away, every ounce of the creature's strength ends up gutting it and splitting it from end to end as it begins to just sort of essentially tear itself apart with these panicked, just shrieking cries, and it's dead within instants. However, most of its carcass is basically just washed over the side of the cliff with its momentum. I am going to ask for, because of that, Fia, one last dexterity saving throw as it sort of falls on atop of you and threatens to sort of scrape you down the side of the cliff with it.
I realized I have something called Danger Sense. It gives me advantage on dexterity saving throws, but against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. Would this be counting there?
This would count, as you are clearly able to see this thing coming.
Hey Warren, you want the horse as a prize for this fight?
On your
Or
character
stay
sheet,
alive as long as it's not fallen.
on your character sheet, Fia, you should have a toggle for advantage.
Thank
so-
God.
Oh man, and that advantage is going to be very important. Or less important. So, Fia, you are going to end up getting knocked down this cliff with this thing, and this is going to be the question, the point where, well, you're not holding Armin's rope, so Armin is not going to get dragged with you, and you are now falling. Morgan, because we are out of combat and you are flying, you do have the opportunity to try and swoop down and save your companion.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
All right.
Thank you. And I'm just laughing though, and we can say maybe my axe is still inside of it. I'm just like, ah.
Oh sure, absolutely. I mean, you're straight up Gandalfing with this thing as you just sort of plummet into the parting mists, and you're just hacking at it over and over again while it just as it dies. Go ahead, Morgan, give me I will take from you then a dexterity saving throw as you try to maneuver in and grab a hold of your companion and pull them free before like you yourself get caught in this giant like kind of violent tumble of this creature's death throes. That is going to be a 19 dexterity saving throw. I'm going to close out the initiative order because we don't need it anymore. You are now outside of combat, and that is going to be enough to swoop Fia from the jaws of certain death and being smashed apart on the roof of the shingled houses below, and you're going to be able to grab her.
Man, Morgan, saving everybody's life.
That flight potion really, really paid off.
While also healing
Yes, it
the
did.
barbarian from dead
Yeah.
to full.
Oh yeah, that helped too. I don't even know who's gonna win this prize now.
For the first night, we might actually turn it over to just an audience choice. We'll see. But I mean, it's undeniable at this point that the entire team's like working together was the only way that you were able to overcome this creature, both through, I mean, Fia's raw strength and durability. I mean, Armin, your strategic choices, the luck and skill of Morgan, as well as Warren, and all of you between your zodiac signs, your starting items, all of it. It all came out in order to try and save your lives, and it worked. So
I literally used everything.
Congratulations.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah, I have almost nothing left.
I got no necro arrows anymore, unless I can get them from the corpse.
You can get the arrows, but the poison has basically spent itself.
Okay, would they just become regular arrows at that point? I
Yes.
can just add them to the arrows? Okay.
They would become regular arrows. And welcome to the other side of combat. You're now, I mean, obviously welcome to roleplay and do whatever it is that you would like in this situation.
Being downed but
Horse.
stable function in the realm of So You Think You Can Quest? Because currently I'm not dying anymore, but I'm stable.
Yes. So you think you can quest at 0, you can basically, like, you can talk weekly, and you can, essentially very, very slowly at almost a quarter speed do most normal actions. You can't really move without the help of somebody carrying you, but you are, kind of have an amount of consciousness to you.
Fia like wants to go back down there. She's like, let me get that thing. Let me eat that thing. I want its head.
Arathil runs over to Fia and hugs Fia hard and just says, "That was the most crazy, epic, awesome moment of my life."
I dropped my
Where
rage.
did the
and
body
just-
fall?
The body is more or less right down here.
Can I go check it out?
You certainly may.
And then I'm going to pull out. Do I have a rope? I think I have a rope.
Somebody drag me away from the edge.
I was about to say I'm gonna put him on my horse and move back towards the middle of the road.
All right.
I take a rope and then just kind of let it down so I can climb down, see the body.
Okay, your rope is not going to nearly be long enough for this. The rope come in 30 and 50 foot increments, and this is like, we're minimum 150 feet drop.
I'll yell over to Morgan and just say, "Hey, can you give me a lift? I'll leave my rope with the others just so they can tie it to another rope if they need to.
I don't know that I can. I have like a seriously low strength.
Okay. Then I will find another rope, the one that probably was tied to Armin, and just tie them together.
Maybe there's some left over from the wagon.
Just take all the ropes.
I take whatever rope is necessary to get down to the bottom of the cliff.
All right, you're going to need to tie together several lengths of rope in order to make that happen. At least 5, which I believe the party might have, but that will take some time. So I'll take a sleight of hand check to get those knots put together.
I'll go down first.
Sure. I mean, Morgan, being able to fly, you can get down there in, almost literally about 8 seconds. It's just over a round.
20.
Nicely done. As your fighter companion begins to rapidly slap together very, very, substantial knots, but as quickly as they can in order to try and follow you down. Morgan, as you get through the veil of the mists, you see that the creature has landed in the roof of what looks to be probably not a noble's house, but somebody who's well-to-do, as they've got both kind of a small stable and barn outside, and the house itself looks nicer and is several stories tall, butted up against the side of this cliff. The drake's body has caved in the shingled roof. There is just debris strewn all about the grass around the house, and there are people having now filed out of the home and are all gawking and staring as this thing is just bleeding and still kind of thrashing and twitching and otherwise like destroying what little is left of their attic as it manages to just depart this world. And they're all kind of pointing, and some are very dismayed. One of them seems to just kind of be laughing hysterically, but likely it's just a sort of a misfiring stress response.
I have those misfiring stress responses in real life.
Don't we all?
Right.
So that's the scene. Was there anything specific that you wanted to check out or do?
Well, I wanted to see, is his axe still down there?
His axe is still embedded in the basically the creature's chest at this point.
I was coming to recover that and maybe a few of the arrows and see if, if there's anything I can recover.
Sure, certainly. Go ahead and give me an investigate as you look over the creature's dead body.
The axe has like a beam of light shining upon it.
So that 9 investigation is enough to find the axe and 3 arrows, but that everything else was either broken or is just covered in so much of this creature's skin and flesh that's just in a heap.
Don't mind me.
All right, as you are sort of more or less in this split level scene of the creature having stoved in the top of the roof and is now lying halfway supported by the attic floor, and some of its weight has crushed through into the third story beneath that, you can kind of see into what looks like perhaps a bed chamber, and then beneath that maybe some sort of lounge of some kind, but it's difficult to tell. And as you're done sort of retrieving all of these things, you look up to see what looks to be a half-elf woman standing there in the doorway of probably her own house, and just jaw agape looking at you going, what is this?
It's a bird.
I think it's a dead Mistrake.
She literally face palms. Okay. Do you know it? Personally?
Yes. Yeah, his name was Frank.
No, it was attacking some of the villagers up there, and when it died, it went over the edge.
And it just... There was nowhere else. It had to... You couldn't have, as she kind of points out of the gaping hole in the side of her house into the yard and grounds beside it, that where had the creature, maybe even bounced off one additional boulder, it might have instead landed there.
Yeah, this entire time, Aerithel has just been climbing down, by the way.
Oh, sure. I mean, as that, I will take an athletics at that point, and because you can repel fairly quickly, but it is, it's dangerous.
I've got the fast talking personality trait. I don't know if that, but I want to try to convince her that there was nothing we could do about it. See if I can keep her from blaming us for the damages.
Okay, go ahead and that'll be a persuasion check. Surely that's not a lie. There was very little, other than let the Mistdrake eat you. All right, Aerithil, that 16 athletics is going to see you down the side of this cliff face fairly quickly, in time to sort of just hear your companion Morgan trying to get a word in edgewise with an otherwise growing number of irate house guests who are likely just using this interloper as a focus of their ire, despite the fact that clearly there's nothing they could have done to prevent this. And Morgan, you see that soon there's a couple adolescents as well as a few other adults joining this woman in the corridor, and they're all beginning to sort of answer similar questions, to which her response is then, yes, no, he killed it, I can't. And the woman turns away and leaves you now to the crowd, who are all beginning to ask you like many, many questions as to, are you a professional? Do you do this often? How much are you going to charge to get rid of this thing? What kind of services do you offer when it comes to repairing and cleaning up these messes?
Aerithil will cut into this point and just talk to them and say,
I will note, Aerithil, if you're going to cut in at this point, you'll basically be like shouting down like from the rope, like up on the cliff face. Not that you can't, but that's sort of your position in this.
Oh, I'm still repelling? Okay.
Yeah, you'll still be, you can hear all of this, so there's no reason that you can't interject. I'm just saying that you haven't necessarily gotten onto the roof yet and into the conversation, like, physically.
Okay, Aerithil is, at this point, then just kind of laughing to herself.
Okay, and you're going to keep going. Morgan, what are you doing at this point as they continue to badger you with more and more unsensical and seemingly unreasonable demands?
I'm trying to deflect until the rest of the party can get down there. So basically just kind of trying to storytell about what happened and kind of not answering any of their questions, kind of going around it if I can.
All right, in which case that would be a deception check as you begin to play for time. Go ahead and see if you can keep these people placated until you certainly can. And you turn to see your companion Aerithil having descended the cliff face, rope dangling in the breeze somewhat behind them as they kind of trunch across like what are a bunch of broken shingles on the top of this roof. And over to you. Aerithil, of course, you're welcome to join the scene at this time.
Aerithil will kind of walk up and just say, "Greetings all." Oh, I forgot to ask a question. The goddess of the church that we live in the basement of, what was that goddess's name?
That's Yongqua.
Yongqua. And I just kind of walk up and I say, everyone, calm down. Calm yourselves. Yongqua's, what's the word I'm looking for? One of Yongqua's devotees has sent us down here to help with those that travel in the mists. We came here to assist. Unfortunately, due to our skirmish upon the cliff, we were struck for time. Unfortunately, with that, we were able to deal the final blow upon this drake. And with that, it unfortunately fell down here. We tried our best to keep it upon the cliff, but things were complicated as it kept on flying and taking our group members off the cliff. And I gesture to Moggins and say, Moggins here was a great help, assisted many people, even catching them, making sure that they did not fall. And she looks over to the noble that owned the house and just say, and I'm sure you didn't want a couple of bodies falling into your house either. But again, we're not really seeking payment, but if you're willing to offer any help you can for coin, please direct it to the church. And I give them the description of the church that we are at,
Okay.
so that they can send it that way.
Got it.
And I just say, but if you need any help clearing this, we are willing to help because we did put a few things inside of its hide that we wish to recover. And if you're seeking repairs, and she looks specifically at the noble and says, we can do what we can, but we're trying to get rid of these mist monsters that are plaguing these lands down here. So, if you wish to go against us and possibly see more people hurt and possibly killed by more of these monsters from the mist, then very well, we will stay here and let a few more people die.
Okay, go ahead and based on the tone of that conversation, I will let you either end this with an intimidate or a persuasion, because either one is kind of fitting given the way that you.
That is a 19.
All right, 19 intimidation. Obviously not wanting to mess with people covered in mist drake blood who just descended from the sky. The family begins backing up, and you can hear them murmuring amongst themselves, well, I'm true, okay. And then finally, one of them, delegated out of the crowd, steps forward and says, we don't want any of that. We don't want any of that. We are good, well-standing citizens amongst the town of Hope's Rise. Will not have rumors of that being spread about. However, I am going to ask that you, as strangers, who have otherwise caused quite a bit of damage here, get out of our house!
We will do so as quickly as possible. And if possible, we would also like to see what we can scrounge from this beast. And we will be out of your hair as fast as possible. Is that okay with you?
Just be as quick as you can, please. This is inconvenience is not a word to describe this kind of situation. It's a catastrophe.
Very well. And I look over to Moggins and just say, alrighty, Moggins, would you mind helping me do a bit of skinning and taking a few things from this beast?
Of course. What did you say we could see underneath the drake?
Underneath the drake because it's basically in this split level of the attic, which is kind of much more like a more of a single level loft, if you will, which is the floor that it's mostly on. But then underneath that, it had broken into what looks to be a bed chamber of some kind, and then beneath that, its tail looks to have broken into the floorboards of some kind of lounge, perhaps.
Okay, so I'll help him with what he's doing here first.
Okay.
I'll be taking a couple teeth specifically to give to our barbarian friend as a reward. And I will be skinning, trying to get some scales from this beast, possibly to either sell or make some possible armor.
Go ahead and give me a survival check as you attempt to skin this creature. Excellent. Though a lot of this creature's hide is otherwise destroyed and in tatters, you are able to find a solid piece of its back that had been pretty unaffected by the combat and the fall, and where the scales are thick and ridged and seem to have the most kind of density and hardiness, you're able to carve away a substantial sheet of this creature's skin. Likely enough to make a tunic or perhaps some sort of, leather of some kind.
All right.
I'd like to collect a bit of its blood, too, if possible.
Absolutely. The blood, I won't make you roll a check for. I'm just going to ask how much of it are you going to try and collect?
You have 2 bottles.
2 bottles.
2 bottles of Drake blood. All right.
And just to sate my curiosity, I'm going to dig deep into its belly and cut open its stomach to see if it maybe swallowed a couple items that might have been used.
Sure. Absolutely. And rolling. So as you carve open this drake's stomach and its contents spill out onto the ground, there's this like acidic kind of brine, like rotted seawater stench that fills the air as its fluids start like dripping into the bedchamber below, and you can hear the family just all like moan in unison. And in that, though, immediately your eyes light up, Erithil, as you see there is inside what looks to be, well, okay, this is a bit morbid, but the skeletons of several other villagers from Hope's Rise. But that's not what excites you. It seems that around them, they are rather, gathered around an item in the center of this drake's stomach that it just would not dissolve. And after clearing away the debris of these, like what are like in some cases skeletons, and in some cases like almost kind of like mummified, like paper thin flesh, you find a breastplate that seemingly is defying all of the corrosive environment around it. It looks as if it's just been polished down in wax. And not unlike the joke you made about Fia's axe earlier in the session, there's almost some sort of ray of light that kind of reflects and glitters off of the surface of this thing in an unnatural way.
I look over to Moggins and say, "Well, we hit the jackpot. How much time do you have left for your flight?"
Good question.
Morgan, after all of this, you've got like maybe 5-10 minutes.
Do you mind taking a few of these things back up to the group? Maybe they can split amongst it while I make my way back up. I might find a couple things here.
Yeah, I can do that. Because I don't want it to run out halfway up.
Got it. All right. So, Morgan, what are you taking up for Erithil at that point?
Probably the axe and the breastplate, I would imagine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll give her the breastplate so that everybody can divvy that up.
Make sure, characters who are acquiring items, that you write it down in your inventory. It does not exist if it is not transcribed. I cannot honor items that have not been essentially, accurately kept track of.
If I put it on the character sheet, but is there a way I need to save it or anything?
Nope. It'll stay at that after that. I'm just offering the reminder because, today when there was that debate for a moment about who had the health potion, there was a second where even if the person had it, but it had slipped through the party's notation process, then that health potion was as good as lost.
Yeah, you
Got it.
You could put in your inventory magic breastplate unknown.
So, that leaves
And the Drake.
Yeah, and the Drake blood, as well as also the axe, which I imagine you'll hand over to Fia.
And some teeth.
Yeah, and some teeth. So that means you'll be rejoining the rest of the party, and you're obviously welcome to interact. Real quick, Erithil, what are you doing down there so that I have a sense of time scale, and then I'll rejoin the rest of the group?
Erithil is going to... Basically, she's going to take a little bit of the blood, too. I don't know if I have any flask or anything, but if there's any nearby, I might take that and just fill up a little bit of blood. And a little bit twisted, but I'm going to take its eyes.
All right. One of the eyes is badly damaged, but the other eye you can extract.
Then I will take it.
All right. And at the time that you're kind of standing on this creature's badly broken chest, kind of trying to pluck out one of its eyes with a dagger and just kind of grumbling and swearing at it. You begin to hear the clinking of what sounds like booted heel upon board coming from the very hallway that the family was standing in, and you get the sense that there's probably some sort of enforcement on their way.
All right. As soon as I grab the eye, and like the hill that the cliff that we came down from, does it kind of circle around into this village, or does it not?
Well, I just popped the players back over to the overland map. So if you want to join me, I'll go ahead and get you centered where you are right now, which is right here. Right here. So this hill that you're on basically descends further down until it hits basically valley floor right here. And then if you go back up the way you came, it loops back into the village. Of course, these roads, if you follow them around, will take you further into or out of Hope's Rise. But yeah, that's sort of where you're at.
All right. I don't want to risk climbing back up that rope, hoping that the others pick the rope back up. And I'm just going to kind of leisurely walk until I can cross the group.
Okay, so you'll basically just meet up with them at the bottom of the path that they're walking along.
Yeah, my luck is gonna run out soon, so I'd rather not climb up that rope.
Sure, that is an experienced player's choice right there. I'm gonna hand it over to the rest of the group at this point. What do you want to do?
I'm just eating some rations. Fia's just like eating some like taking a breath like this and like whoa, like still has like a little rush in her. Just eating some like rations.
You're eating so fast you got hiccups.
I have Armin on my horse, and I'm just taking him back all the way down to how far down? Down the road.
Okay, so you're gonna go meet up with Erithil. Fia's stress eating. That leaves us with Araman, who is on the back of your horse. Araman, you've got enough strength slowly that like you could essentially get off this horse and stay if you want to, or you can just kind of remain and go with Warren. Which do you prefer?
I'll just stay on the horse.
Okay, got it. And then that means that you, Fia, you'll be the last one up there. Are you following behind your companions, or is there anything else you want to do while you're up on this cliff face?
No, I'm just following along, and maybe I'm saying to Armin, like, hey, remember when you almost died?
All right. Then that means all of you will be able to regroup at the bottom of this hill. Having survived an encounter I did not think the party was going to be able to. For sure, I thought the move was just going to be fleeing. I thought all of you were just going to run. But it did not work out like that. So I am...
We tried.
Yeah, you did try. You did try. That's what happens when a natural one stealth roll is like what opens the night, though. That is literally the history of that. So it was definitely entertaining, to say the least. You now have basically arriving in this crossroads, see around you what are a couple larger homes, a fairly decent-sized store of some kind that seems to be selling like plows and farm goods and just like larger format things like wagons and in some cases there seems to be a stable off to the side where they are selling livestock. And then this structure right here is actually kind of eye-catching, as it's one of the taller ones you've seen so far. It goes up for some 7 stories, and each layer seems to be kind of almost a little bit haphazardly added. And you can like see this like almost history of things getting sketchier and sketchier and sketchier as the building rises into like kind of the low levels of the mist about it. It is, however, adorned with any number of kind of patios that are and balconies and terraces, both around it on the base level and circling around it on top of its kind of like mishmashed rising levels. there is a sign hanging out front, and obviously, judging by the interior, which you can see through even its dirty windows, this is some kind of combination inn slash, kind of community living situation, as there are a number of people making their home in the main hall on the ground floor, and so many more coming and going from the what are several doors in the main floor of this building, as its central hall is very large. This entire structure would otherwise be like a noble's mansion if it weren't for, or like a baron's keep, if it weren't for the ramshackle kind of painted wood, stone, amalgam that it's composed out of. The sign that hangs in front of it, let me double check, there's a couple inns in this area. I don't want to get this one wrong. Ah, yes, okay. This is the Land's End. Inn/tavern/feasting hall.
Can Armin slump off the horse and make his way there and haggardly go through the door and be like, I need a room?
You certainly can.
Erythel looks to the rest of the group and just says, I think, because of my actions out there, I owe you all a good drink.
I agree.
And she looks over to Fia and she says, did you get those dragon teeth?
And
Not
open
yet.
up my mouth. Okay.
I get that.
But I'm handing everything over to you. The breastplate and the teeth and the axe.
Okay. As she gives you the teeth, I'm just like, well, I hope you like them. You deserved it. That was good work.
I say
Now,
thank you.
First round's on me. And she walks inside.
Huzzah!
You said there was a stable, right?
There is.
Right next to it. I'm gonna go there to try and put my horse in there now. It's my horse now.
All right.
Before I go into the inn. Just keep him there.
You
What
got
are you
it.
gonna do? Is it a girl or a boy?
The
I
horse?
don't know. Is it a girl or boy?
I'll let you roll for it. We'll say, okay, well, what was... Sure, what does that mean?
I don't know. I was rolling.
You're gonna have to pick before I go. I was gonna say odd. We'll make it. Was gonna do male, and then we'll do even for female. So I guess you have a female horse, or a mare, as they would say.
All right. I'm gonna put my horse over in the stable then.
All right. A barding for the night, and for the horse is going to be a total of, well, either 5 copper or 1 silver, depending on how luxurious you want this horse to be taken care
I
of.
can give up the silver.
Okay.
I can do.
Giving up a silver for the horse as you enter into the Land's End inn/tavern/feasting hall. And this is going to, basically allow you all to, interact as you would with any of the patrons here. We are obviously closing to the end of the night, though, as we are drawing within only less than 10 minutes of close. So before we begin to wrap up, what does the party want to get themselves involved in real quick? Are you going to try and rest here for the evening?
A whole lot of sleep. It's too
Yes,
haggard
definitely.
for anything
Yeah.
else.
Erythel,
Food and sleep.
after Erythel bought everyone their first drink, she's going to go to whatever patron is around and just start talking with everyone, holding the eye of the drake in the air, talking about the fight, and talking about the barbarian who struck it down as it fell down the cliff. And just upsell this story about this drake and constantly talking about the talking about our group and talking about where we're stationed at, and if they wish for our group to help as much as they can, donations would be wonderful and stuff like that. Basically, I'm throwing propaganda around and be like, give us some coin and we'll be able to help you as much as we can.
All right.
I'm gonna help him out with it.
All right. Then I will take both of you. Give me just flat charisma checks. Well done. Okay. So with the help, then, Erithil, you'll be able to make another one because you'll have advantage on this charisma check. See if it turns out any better. Well, not necessarily, but 17 is still solid. As by the end of the night, despite the fact that these strangers rolled into the tavern, literally soaking in monster blood and kind of reeking of like this just awful, like internal, like rennet, like sour cheese smell of the creature's innards, you are soon starting to be treated with at least an amount of humor and amusement as celebrating the death of one mist drake, while not certainly going to solve any of these beleaguered people's problems, is reason enough to toast, and soon you are able to get the crowd on your side. Is there going to be anything else you'd like to do before long resting for the evening?
If possible, I would like to also see if I can identify. I don't know. If there's any way for me to identify other than attuning to it?
The armor?
The breastplate, yeah.
Well, you, as an Eldritch Knight, you will be able to cast you can cast first level spells, correct?
Yes, I have, yeah.
So you can cast Identify, it just costs 100 gold pieces.
Don't have that.
Not yet. Likely, though, judging by the prices that they were charging for those swords, a piece of armor like this likely could be the kickstart that your adventuring economy needed.
Then I will just try attempting to tune to it just to see what happens.
Okay. Noted. You will basically attune to it over the course of your long rest, and then when we start next session, you'll find out what it is exactly that this armor that you've found does.
Alrighty.
And with that, looking at the time, we've got only a few minutes left before we get out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. But before we do... Actually, it's not fair at this point to make you make the encounter roll. We'll save that for the next party. I just want to say thanks to everyone who's out there watching on the Twitch channel, all of the players who have been a part of the game so far. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Don't worry. I didn't forget this time.
Okay.
Thank you, though. I was gonna run through my list of accreditations first, and then close with the prize. So thanks to both the viewers, the contestants, the fans, the patrons, the people who've helped me by allowing me to use their art, all of the things that allow this entire setup to go and function, most of which is the community enthusiasm. And that brings me to the final point in the evening, where we have the daily prize, as Araman pointed out. And for the first time, I would like to see exactly what the chat thinks. For the first time, I would like to exactly what would you like to, or who would you like to see win the daily prize this session? They will be choosing between a dog tag made out of chrysanthemum stone, or alternately a bead of Spider-Man jasper. I'm gonna put the contest between Araman and Fia and Morgan for their performance today. Also, what with Warren having already and Erithil both having already earned prizes.
Yeah, everybody vote. I want to see it.
Yeah, everybody vote. All right, we've got Fia. We've got 2 for Fia. Oh, we got 2 for Morgan. 3. Oh, no, that's just a repost. All right, that's 4 for Morgan. Morgan is taking the lead over Araman. Oh man, Araman, you are getting crushed in this one. Even though you're the one who he kept the party alive.
I know.
Well, to be fair, Morgan also kept the party alive, but Araman really kept the party alive.
The healer's always the one that is forgotten about.
Oh, of
trust me,
course.
Oh, I feel bad.
Oh no. Especially because the thing is that healer is going to be probably the one who gets forgotten about until he is the only one that survives an otherwise fatal encounter. So don't feel that bad. The cleric gets well taken care of in the long run.
I think the most deciding factor for Morgan winning would be because of the fact that she caught, I think, 2 or 3 of us that were going over the cliff.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm not in any way denying the importance of what Morgan did here today. So Morgan, I'm gonna throw it up onto the stream real quick. You've got the choice of either this. Oh no, it's so huge. Oh god, the resolutions. The Chrysanthemum Stone Dog Tag, which I am now posting for the stream to see, or the Bead of Spider-Man Jasper. Which one would you like as your prize?
The Spider-Man.
All right, I'm going to throw that up there too for everyone to see, so that everybody knows exactly what you just picked, but that is awesome. That Spider-Man Jasper, it's important to note about it, despite its humble appearance, comes from a very limited deposit, as Jaspers are names given to kind of unique combinations of minerals that are compacted over time, so while it does not have the luster of the idea of it being emerald or ruby, it is all that much more impossibly unique, and thus there is no other stone in the world quite like the one you are getting, and it comes from a supply that once it was mined out, it is more or less gone. There is only so much Spider-Man Jasper in the world until we figure out how to recreate it, and not in some sort of lab-grown situation. So that is gonna get out to you as soon as I can make that happen. Okay, see, there we go. That resolution is not ridiculous. I can work with that. And we will get that mailed out to you as soon as possible. Please make sure to just send me a direct message with the address that works best for you, and I will get that going to you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And the chat too.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone out there in the Twitch stream. I just checked in to see we have almost 20 viewers right now. That is so awesome. I am so glad that all of you stuck around through this. Big ups again to Mississippi Bones, who was kind enough to let me borrow their song Dungeon Hustle for the theme and outro for this. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting that playing, but it'll be a quick response next time, and you will see it for sure on the episodes when I upload them in the future. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. We're going to join our players here at the Land's End and likely see what dangerous shenanigans they get into in the lowland Mist Valley of Hope's Rise. If the Mist Trolls are anything like the Mist Drakes, then surely they are no threat to be underestimated. What secrets does that breastplate hold? What exactly is the agenda of the priestesses for whom the Guild of Mazes is currently fundraising and helping establish themselves in the town? Exactly when will the guild see the reappearance of those mysterious assassins who had plagued them only a night before? All of these questions and more, of course, will be answered on the next episode of So You Think You Can Quest. Thank you all, and have a wonderful evening. And here we reach the end of our tale. For now. Join us again next time on So You Think You Can Quest.
every day I'm hustling. Just one possession, chance brings every trap that's it. Oh, dungeon masters hate when I sit down to play, 'cause